Yeah, I got a fucking radio.
Evening, Sergeant Smith.
Evening.
How you doing tonight? This afternoon, actually.
Hey,
Kind of afternoon, more like evening. Afternoon's like a couple hours ago.
Oh,
Wait, 1 second.
Private Briglin,
yeah, I'm here.
how can I help you?
Just you're waiting. I'm coming in. Had computer troubles here. For some reason, wouldn't start up.
Alright, yep. Official server. Make it fast.
So according to my my Android, it looks like 7:54 right now, Corporal. Guess we both are wrong.
Oh, well, you know, that's what you get for just switching from the graveyard shift. Sergeant.
Switching from what?
The graveyard shift.
Private, turn it off. You load into the official server too as well.
Make it quick.
Remember, OSUT starts at 1900 Eastern.
How long
You're
does
gonna-
training do?
The maximum is 3 hours.
As long as it takes.
And try to arrive early. If you can't make it at the beginning of the start time, make sure you email us. I'm sorry, not email, but PM us. Let us know you're gonna be arriving late.
Yeah, fucking liberation is not that important.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just lost the time.
Actual, this is Alpha on frequency 100. How copy? Over.
I did not get that over SquadNet.
That was over TeamNet. And remember, you don't say how copy. High copy because you're already asking for a radio check.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
It was over TNet.
Yeah, come up next to Private Drake. There you go.
Okay, so I've got, just making sure if you don't mind, I've got 100.1 for channel 1, that's the TeamNet, right?
Correct.
And my alt channel is 100 nothing.
Correct.
So it should be set up.
Right, you make sure that you're going back down to channel 1 before you can.
And to transmit on additional net, you press the Tango key. Probably was pressing Cap Lock's key, which is why you're transmitting your TeamNet.
Ah. That may well be, thank you. Alright.
You can stay up here. Not
Okay.
gonna bite.
I know it can get kind of confusing sometimes. They're both next to you and in your ear.
No, I can tell the difference.
Cool.
Not necessarily. I don't see the use for it tonight. I mean,
Right.
we can.
Roger that.
Actual, this is Alpha on frequency 100.
I'm
Over.
not gonna let you. Nope. Still nothing.
Weird. So I've got it on.
Hold on. My fucking radio's all
Alpha,
fucking funky.
Alpha, this is actual. Radio checking frequency 100 over.
Alright, so I was wrong. My fucking.
Actual, this is Alpha. I read you 5x5.
No, that's on TeamNet still.
It is?
Yep.
That's coming through on 100
Yeah.
for me.
No, it's coming through. Yeah, don't listen.
Oh, that's my bad. I actually had it. I had myself on A2 and not on C1. Yep,
Right.
you're good. I got you.
Okay, good. I was beginning to get very confused. Like,
Yeah, my
kinda-
radio completely reset for some reason. I had some
Oh.
fucking crazy. See, that's why we do radio checks right there.
Yep. I'm gonna have to start getting used to saying Hua. Like the first couple of days, I wasn't sure if it was cool for me to say it, so I had to find other creative ways to
Sorry,
give
now you want me to get
affirmatives.
this guy.
Are they loading in now?
it's more than okay.
Did they?
That's awesome.
Probably Drake.
Oh, negative.
Might have a problem because your radio is at your feet, so I don't know if that's what you were looking for. Alright.
Got my radio in my hand.
Oh. It's down at your feet. Weird.
Having an issue setting my alternate channel.
Private Briglin and Private Toler and Officer ETA.
Hopefully 5 mics, or not
5.
even. Now, for some reason, my internet is fucking being booty right now.
I'll give you 5 minutes. And Private Toto, what's your ETA?
Yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sergeant, remember that. We're in the official channel, so address the NCO properly.
I don't want to hear fucking yes for the rest of the day.
Every time I go to set my alternate channel, it changes my primary channel. It's really irritating me.
Let's take a look.
It might be because he actually doesn't have the radio, Sergeant.
The radio is in my hand. I'm using
I
it
mean,
right now.
Like if you exit it and check your inventory, is it still
Yeah,
there?
check it.
I exit and it comes right back up. The radio at my feet is not my radio.
Weird. Never mind.
What was the problem?
His is having problems getting the alternate channel to stick.
You press it once, right? And it should change it to A1 to A2, right? Or
I have
A-
my primary
yeah.
at 100.
Okay. So C1 should be 100.1. C2 should be 100. And then you can change C2 to A2 by pressing an additional key. Or that button that says additional channel.
But you have to change A2 after you save 100 by pressing the ENT button. If you don't do it and you press the A2, it'll fucking fuck your frequency up again.
Roger, Sergeant.
Still not working.
User joined your channel.
I heard you keying up. Well, you.
I keyed up 100 because it's the second one that I set. When I set my additional to 100, it changes my original to 100 as well.
Take your radio and drop it on the ground for me, please. Actually, let me get rid of this extra radio I have in my back.
Private Toler and off.
Roger that. Copy that, Sergeant.
Remember next time to load into the OSUT training slot, go ahead and grab the AR loadout. Here, come follow me. Go in here and grab the AR loadout, and then get your radio in vector. Remember how to do that, right? From yesterday? Well, not yesterday, Tuesday?
Copy that,
And for the
Sergeant.
record,
Alright,
I
cool,
put my
sweet.
8.2 because I'm Bravo.
Okay. Alright. Enter. Yeah, all you have to do is make sure you hit enter before you hit the A2 button. There you go.
I mean, I was, but okay. Roger that.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the radio program, just fine.
Sergeant Smith,
Yes.
can I just ask which stations do I need on the radio?
Need to be on 100.1 for Team Net, and that's it for now. No, don't grab rifleman. Go automatic rifleman. Automatic rifleman grenadier. And then grab your stuff again.
Yeah, we'll do a disregard. We were about to do it.
Oh, that's just me off. My Arma 3 launcher's not even popping up for no reason.
Might take some time. You just started up. Might take some time.
Thank you, Sergeant Smith. Sorry to be late.
Yep, is that right? Go ahead and get light up everyone else. Go ahead.
I had loading issues even starting my computer somehow. For some reason, I have no clue.
Probably able to do a radio check with me.
Radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Rob, this is Alpha. I read you 555 on frequency 100.1, over.
Alpha, this is Todo. Copy that, out.
Actual, this is Bravo. Radio check, frequency 100, over. Bravo, this is Alpha, excuse me, Actual. Heavy Lima Charlie on frequency 100, over. Actual, this is Bravo. Copy out.
Excellent. Alright, we can't. Corporal McCoy, take Private Brigland down, classroom 2, or wherever you need. Get his shit squared away.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Alright, gentlemen, follow me to the classroom.
User left your channel. User left your channel.
Get this squared away.
Microphone
There we
muted.
go. Now I can finally mute myself. Alright. 22 minutes in, of course, like usual. If I could close this door, that'd be amazing.
Nope, sit in the fucking front.
I don't have a sit option. I can carry it, but I don't have a sit option.
Let's see.
I've got the same.
Same too.
Alright. Alright, well, just fucking stand fast, stand net here. Stand next to one of the chairs, we'll get this shit started. I'll send that up as a fucking bug. Alright. Everybody will open up their maps. As soon as you pop in, you'll be at this area here. Since I fucking can't point anymore. You have vertical and horizontal. Actually, black on black, it's not gonna fucking work. You got vertical and horizontal grid lines, northing and easting lines. That is the name that we give them. Northern and easting lines. Now a 4-digit grid will give you a 1,000-meter square grid reference to identify something. So if everybody scrolls out or scrolls in enough, you should see 2 digits on top, the sides, and the bottom. Everybody seeing it on the very outside of your maps?
A firm.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, so right now, you go to two digits on the top, sides, and bottoms. That will give you a 4-digit grid reference, which is good for 1,000 meters square. It's already built, Sergeant. So you got 1,000 meters square. Now if you, it's over by the vehicle identification. Now if we go and we scroll in till we have 6 digits all around, 3 digits all around, that will give us a 100-meter grid square, which is fucking, if you look at it side by side, it's starting to look a lot better when you calling in for support or, or whatnot. It's starting to be a little bit more doable. Now, if you want to get even more specific, you can go down to an 8-digit grid reference, which you cannot scroll that far, but there is a possibility of using...
Hey, Bronco Zulu, how you doing, man? Sloth?
Math?
Is that Sam Sloth? Where you get that sloth picture from?
Wrong. Make sure everybody's on side channel so you can see what I'm putting on there. So you can break down the grid into tenths.
Sullivan.
So the 4th number and your 8th number will come from
you
breaking down that 6-digit grid into 8s. Into tenths, excuse me.
It's going alright so far. Waiting on one more man and get in.
This road right here, because
got 4 of us.
We did just this Sunday.
Started off with about 9, I believe, or 8.
Convoy.
No, not 9 actually, about 10.
Raid or convoy.
During day 1. Then we... No. So 9, and then it went down to 6 during day 1. And then 4 during day 2. So it's unfortunate how all this stuff happens.
We had an enemy convoy that we had to fucking raid and destroy. Say this is where our point is. This red point is where we're going to attack and coordinate all our fire to hit this convoy that, for shits and giggles, is coming. Is coming from that direction. So the grid reference that we will give will be I would go with 5 instead of 6. When you scroll in a lot, 6 could also work. So obviously, probably Toto understands how you do that. Does everybody else understand how we got an 8-digit grid reference out of a 6-digit grid and breaking it down by tenths?
Affirm, Sergeant.
Private Drake.
It's left side, right? First, right?
Correct. Yes, you want to do that first, and then bottom. So left to right, bottom to top. So, all right. Private O'Connell, give me the 8-digit grid ref for this gas station.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Right, the 8-digit.
Private Drake, make sure you take the hard cover and eyebrow off.
Let's see. 1578 17.
Make sure you take the hard cover and eyebrow off, Private Drake.
Excellent.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Excellent. Private Drake. Do the same, but over here, go to the east about 200-300 meters, and you will see a church. Give me the 8-digit for said church.
One 732 164. I don't know. I'm blanking for some reason.
What did you start it off with?
1732.
No, you remember you want to go left to right, bottom to top. So you're still dealing with that grid ref, which is 161. So you had the right frame of mind. So it's going to be 1612, and then it's going to be 1739.
Okay.
Yeah, so you always want to go. Yep, you just want to go that way and that way. So you just want to imagine moving these grid lines a tenth of the way up, and so you get where you need to go. You know, so that one would go up, 9/10, and that would push you over, 2/10.
Right. That? Yeah, I just had it flip.
All right. All right, so that is your grid ref. It's good to know 8 digits, especially when you get in billet. No matter what you go for, you will have to do land nav. Squad leader drop you off in the middle of nowheres, give you a point he or she wants you to get to, and you have to use only your map, your compass, and your map tools. And you do have your binos. So that definitely helps out, being able to do an 8-digit grid. But like I said, you'll learn that when you get into your billet.
Microphone muted.
Let's see what you wrote here. Damn, do people ever stay?
You don't have his map.
Say why they leave and why not, or do they just disappear? I guess they just disappear, I'm assuming. I guess I was always thought using the keypad rather than 8-digit grids. Never used 8-digit grid in anything official ever. Oh yeah, we used to teach it. We used to teach by keypad and numpad.
Right.
Well, keypad and by grid.
Oh, you already got it. Next slide, please. Let's get over to the terrain feature. Oh, go back.
So then,
right, so we have
we went over.
Gentlemen. Gray indicates man-made features. Blue is water, obviously. Brown and red will identify.
I mean, I'm not gonna be able to do it tonight, though.
Will identify terrain. elevation terrain features. Green is vegetation with military significance.
So yeah, we teach it both
Red also
8-digit and
deals with railroads. Black grid lines and or power lines. So if you become a pilot, definitely have to watch out for fucking power lines. On the map, thick orange lines indicate the MSR, main supply route. Medium, thick yellow lines are ASR. And hollow lines are track 2 parallel. Alright, so your medium yellow thick line is a nice maintained dirt road, where your hollow clearish white lines are your pretty much the back roads you see or know of, where it's 2 fucking ruts in a road with a little grass in the middle and all that good stuff. So the backwoods of a backwoods road. Next slide, please. Alright, if y'all stay on your map, let's go over to...
Oh, who does all the graphics and
yeah, this will be good. Go over to
easy
grid,
to do,
10,
which graphics? About,
18.
Oops. I mean, bumps my thingy, but which graphics talking about? The one on here? On those screens or on my screen? I used to have the graphics, but reset my PC, so I had to reinstall everything else.
I wish I can fucking point.
So I'm assuming you're talking about the graphics.
Put some blue lines on where.
What's the screens?
Looking.
Originally done by. This actually was all done by, I believe, Lieutenant Lewis. Originally, it was all done by Lieutenant Lewis. But Corporal Hartman
up in that general area,
we're
gonna be dealing with that. These terrain features.
Yeah, Corporal Hartman.
So it depends on how much you scroll in. If you look in the bottom right, you have contour intervals, and right now I'm at 2 meters. We're gonna work with this hilltop here, 182.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
By using that, you can
what's his name?
Accurately identify
Corporal Hartman and Lieutenant Burke.
the
you know how to do that.
Height of the hillside
I put some
of that
pictures
part
and videos
of
on
the
YouTube as
terrain
well.
Using contour lines. So right now, 182. This next contour line would be 172. That red one. That would be 162, 15, 142, 132. 122, 112. So you can pretty accurately identify height. Don't need to know it too much, but it does help when you're preparing a route, so you're not overworking your guys by climbing up a fucking steep hillside. Also, you don't want to get caught on a steep hillside. Because obviously you're fucking on the side of a hillside, and if you are on a steep one, climbing up is gonna go to a walking pace, and if you have to get away from enemies, fucking walking pace just won't do it. So that is grid lines. They do not grid lines. Elevation. And they also show you everything. They show you draws, spurs, saddles, hilltops, ridge lines, all that good stuff. Next one, Sergeant. Alright, so we're going over major and minor terrain features.
Speaking of
some major ones are hills,
look at Hartman
ridges,
already here. Look at that.
Valleys, saddles. And minor is draw, spurs, and cliffs. I'm gonna go over each one.
Assuming Hartman trying to tap
right
cursor,
now.
but got blocked
next slide,
out.
Please. That's
As
gonna be
usual.
hill.
You know, all
So each one of these
always
numbers
cursing.
is the elevation of that hilltop. So you're looking at multiple hilltops right now. You can
Told you Hartman would know.
tell the hilltop how
Got a sponge of a
it
brain.
pretty much finishes off. So these are all hilltops. Like I said, the numbers identify its elevation. They're good for
What,
markers.
Oh,
When
I
we're
never
trying
expected
to,
it to do that. That's
maybe
weird.
put up a fucking rally point or a fallback point. Shit hits the fan, you know, we can use hilltop to regroup. It's good for that. Hilltops obviously are good to get recon down on a town or place that you're about to assault, or a fucking route that you're about to travel. It'll get you great eyes, but also it will give the enemy great eyes if somebody is up on the top of a hilltop fucking being careless. If you need to get to the very edge of the hilltop, I suggest going prone and crawling to the fucking edge. At the very least, be fucking kneeling, crouching. Don't be a jackass and stand on a hilltop so a guy 1,000 meters or a click away can fucking see you standing on a hilltop because you're skylining and your black silhouette against the fucking blue sky is a fucking dead giveaway. So if somebody was over here at hill 173, or excuse me, hill 113, yes, somebody from the town of fucking Coroni can fucking see you skylining over a fucking click away, and you just gave up your fucking element of surprise. Obviously the same can be done with fucking Op4. They will skyline because they're retarded. Also, don't picnic up on a hilltop. Get up there, do your business, do your recon, find out what the fuck's going on, and get down and continue your movement. It's a bad place to get stuck if you're if you get the attention of the enemy. We'll do what hill 173. You have enemy in some fucking strategic places, and they can fucking, you know, two squads can really fuck your life up by breaking themselves up and encircling a hilltop. It's not as easy fighting from a hilltop, fighting down when it's in close proximity, because you have to get to the fucking edge of the fucking hilltop to shoot down. So that leaves, you know, if you have a fucking sharpshooters out here and you have the fucking fire teams around you and you're on the edge shooting down trying to kill them, sharpshooters, snipers, whatever the fuck you want to call them, have great fucking eyes on you, because now you gotta come out from behind fucking defilade, behind cover, to engage the enemy. Unless you want to wait for them to fucking climb up and start to engage you, but at that time, fucking time is not your friend, it's their friend. By having them hold you out on top of the hilltop, that means they get to fucking call in fucking support, and then you're really in trouble. The only options you have are fucking fighting downhill. Once again, it's not much of a difference because you're now coming out of defilade behind cover trying to fight downhill where they already got their shit established and they could be bunkered down at the bottom. A fucking close air support would fucking maybe do it. But also a fucking extract from a fucking helo, but that is fucking very dangerous because you could get that bird
and
shut down.
let's see
Because
here.
they would
Sorry
have
guys,
to
I'm gonna read
hover,
your message so late.
or maybe land
Let's
up
see
there
here. Hey,
and
what's up,
fucking evac y'all.
ED3 Cal or ED30
so
Cal? Play Armor 3
something you wanna
Reborn
put,
roleplay. Okay, that's cool.
fellow soldiers in.
By the way, he never took his cover off.
So where it's
LOL,
good,
and
but it's also
WTF.
bad.
So you're
Obviously,
gonna go
what the
ahead and,
enemy can do to you, you can do to them on the hilltop. So what I'm gonna tell you, what's bad for us.
One more time, Private Drake, you need to take that hard cover off and shades as well.
Next slide, please. Alright, so ridges. Hilltops interconnected together. Actually, let's get a little fucking creative.
Microphone muted.
So hilltops together will create a fucking ridgeline. Ridgelines are great for movement because if you have to move one way on a hilltop, a ridgeline.
Right, let me spit some real quick, guys.
Say you're moving that away. It helps with masking your movement from, obviously, this side. If enemies were down in that valley. Also, it keeps you down from being in the fucking kill box area, which is down in the lowest part. Also, if you need to transition from one side of the hillside or the ridgeline to the other because you came in contact from down here, you could easily use a fucking saddle and reroute your movement to the opposite side of the ridgeline and continue movement to engage the enemy, or you can set up a fucking
hey Tiny, how you doing,
line
man?
of fire.
Sorry, you don't see nothing right now because I'm
fire
in the middle of
engage the enemy from the hilltop, the ridgeline, the saddle up here. So it's good. It keeps you your flank hidden from one side, and I suggest if you do use a ridgeline to travel to mask your movement from one side, I would hold it close to the very top of the ridgeline. So if you do have to transition over because of being engaged on the right flank, since this is the direction of travel, it doesn't take long for you to get up over and behind Deflade to find cover. I wouldn't suggest using down here to travel on a fucking hillside or ridgeline. For obvious reasons, if you needed to get up over here because the firepower from your right flank down here was overwhelming, and the only option you have is to fucking go up because you can't go that way because they're gonna fucking destroy you because you have no cover, and you can't go that way. So you need to go up and over to get behind Deflade. Well, you got quite a bit of distance you have to travel, and not only is it the distance, you have fucking steep terrain you had to travel, and you're pretty sure your fucking squad will have a lot of fucking casualties in a very bad spot because they're on a fucking hillside. So yeah, popping smoke and all that's good, but the longer you spend on a fucking hillside, a ridgeline like that is fucking bad news. So get up and over and use fucking Earth Deflate as fucking cover. So travel high, Don't travel in the middle or low. You're just fucking asking for trouble. Alright. Next slide, please, Sergeant. Alright. So, a saddle. This here are saddles. They're great to use if you need to like I said, if you did transition. Actually, that's not much of a saddle. That's more of a fucking draw. This is a good saddle. So, like I said, if you need to transition, and actually that's too low, and you're in this fucking element fucking moving, you can use saddles to transition instead of fucking climbing all the way over the fucking hilltop. You can transition across that ridge line by using a saddle. Might as well go through the easiest way instead of fighting, trying to get over a fucking hilltop. Also, by using saddles, you kind of give yourself some protection from the flanks, since the saddle is in a low part, is the low area between two hilltops. So obviously the hilltops are going to be higher, which means your right and left flank as you're crossing is somewhat masked. If there was, by some way, they had a fucking enemy outpost, putting that red, you had an enemy outpost here, and you happen to catch wind of it before you walked up on it, you wanted to assault it, you can actually use that that fucking saddle to break your forces up. You can have a fire team go here and a fire team go here, and you can fucking come around and hit it from both sides. So it's a good thing to use. The path of least resistance is your friend and your fucking enemy, because the enemy knows it's least resistance, so they'll try to have it covered. But if they don't, might as well use it. Alright, Sergeant, next slide, please. Valley. What I could say about a valley is, fuck Valley. Valley is a fucking dangerous place to be. You will find your roads. This is all a valley. I would hate to be caught down in a valley. That's where you go to fucking die. Obviously, because you're in the fucking lowest of the low ground, you're traveling in a fucking valley, and the enemy has fucking all kind of fucking places it can hide. Here, there, fucking hilltops. Because they're not shooting directly down, so a fucking hilltop would be a great place to fucking engage somebody down in the fucking valley. All those red X's, that's all places they can fucking be hiding. And you're fucking doing a foot patrol next to a fucking ASR in a fucking valley, and next thing you know, you're getting fucking hit from both sides. And it's fucking no bueno, no fun. So if worse comes to worse and you have to go on foot in the valley, keep your fucking head on a swivel. Make sure you see where every bit of fucking cover is. So if you do get engaged, you can fucking get to that fucking cover ASAP. Now, if you're in a fucking armored convoy in our fucking MRAPs, it's still pretty dangerous. So, like anything in a valley, you want to fucking get from point A to point B, quick, fast, in a hurry. Keep fucking halts down to fucking bare minimum. When you're a convoy, obviously you don't want to stop. You want to keep moving. You don't want to fucking get up on each other's ass. You want to keep that fucking like 50-meter space in between Vicks. So if we do come around a hairpin turn, we got enough time to fucking slow down and get around without fucking causing a fucking slinky effect, and then everybody's stopping, and that creates a fucking great possibility for an ambush with fucking RPGs and or mortars. Alright, next one, Sergeant. Probably one of the most favorite ones I like to use. These are draws. Hopefully you can see them. These are draws. You can tell by the shape of your contour lines how they go in drastically. There's a great draw to use there. Great draw. Get you there to there. So draws always happen. They start in a fucking spur. See how it's going in between the fucking spurs? It's always happened in between the fucking spurs. Not, excuse me, in between the fucking saddles. So it leads from a saddle and it could lead down to a valley. Or vice versa. You can use a fucking draw to get yourself up from a valley up to a hilltop ridgeline and be in pretty decent cover and concealment. It's a hell of a lot better than just walking up the side of a fucking hilltop or hillside without anything. You always want to give yourself some possibility of fucking winning and not putting your guys out and fucking harm. The two arrows on the outside, that is the fucking spur of a draw. That is definitely the earth and ground where you draw these up and plateaus off to fucking the higher ground. I like to push my guys right at those red arrows. You can break your fire team up. You can have one fire team on one side of the draw and the other one on the other side. And that keeps your guys from being at the very bottom of the draw, and it helps engagement speed with enemy contacts that could flank you on the left and right as you're moving up and down a draw. So, you know, just always have situational awareness and try to see what the enemy could do, and you need to fucking improvise, adapt, and overcome to not let that happen. Next slide, please. Alright, depression. So right here, where I've been drawing this entire time, this is a fucking depression. It's a fucking sunken area, which is being the lowest area between all these ridge lines. So all these ridge lines encircle low ground, which is the fucking definition of a depression. You're fucking encircled 360 degrees by a fucking ridge line. That's just as bad as being in a fucking valley. You can have enemy up on these hilltops that I have marked with blue dots, and they could know that you're coming in to here because you think, oh shit, I'm fucking covered 360 degrees on all sides as I push through, and they can be sneaky and let you walk in, and then as soon as you push in to the fucking kill area, that's when they start fucking laying in on you, and then you have fucking no way out because you just walked into a fucking pretty badass trap. So another reason why you want to have a fucking planned route. Next slide, please, Sergeant. Alright, let's take a little trip up on the map. Let's go up to grid ref 0522. That is the closest you're gonna see to fucking cliffs. Heavy fucking contour lines fucking stacked on top of each other, and it gets even worse as you scroll in, which means that fucking the elevation from 300 or so meters down to fucking 0 meter sea level, that's quite a bit, and it is engulfed in fucking rocky outcrops. I would not want to get caught with my back to this fucking cliff. You know, enemy only has to fucking take up 3 sides of you and let the cliff and that terrain feature be its fucking fourth man and have you pinned, and you have to fight your fucking way out. Obviously, it can be reversed, and having the enemy's back to a cliff is a good thing. Like if you wanted to storm this fucking castle here, you know, you can fucking squeeze them from 3 sides. Cause you know, fucking chances of them getting any kind of fucking reinforcements from the fucking north is pretty slim to none with a cliff being there, and their escape, even if they try, will be fucking slow and meaningless. Alright, next slide please, if there is any. Alright, microdagger. Before I move on to microdaggers, is there any questions about what I just went over?
Negative, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. If you hit your hotel key, your microdagger will pop up on screen. Is that happening for everybody?
Paper, Sergeant.
Alright. It's a great fucking tool that you have. If you look in the very top middle, that is the in-game time, so it should say 0847 AM. It will give you your bearing, which is at the very bottom left. The bottom middle is the grid ref that you are standing in, your body physically standing in, and it gives you the cardinal direction on the bottom right. The only time that your bearing and cardinal direction change is when your body turns. If you hold Alt and free look, it does nothing to change your bearing and your cardinal direction. Only when you fucking turn your body does that happen. Now you can hold Control and press Hotel, and it will be enlarged on your screen. If you want to take and drag it off to the side, you can. Just hover over the body, left click, and drag it over so it's not directly in the middle of your screen. At that point, you can take your cursor and move it on the screen of your microdagger, and you see a yellow line with an arrow point. That gives you information on the bottom. So you're going to have a tinted window at the bottom right, and that will give you the information of the grid reference, that arrow tip is in, it gives you the elevation change between you and that arrow. Obviously, if it doesn't have a minus sign in front of it, that means the elevation change is positive between you two. And that's the elevation of where the arrow is at. So if you start pointing it towards the fucking... Excuse me. Pointing it to the north, it's like 13 meters higher than where you are, 14 meters, you know, and once you get closer to you, you see it should start jumping off. You know, obviously not. Don't worry, it's not something we fucking use. We're not really worried about elevation, the exact precise elevation. Just contour lines will do enough so you don't fuck your guys over with too extreme slope of a hillside trying to climb it. Next one is the distance from your body to the edge of that pointer. So if we go up and we put the pointer on the recruit training classroom, the black spot, that is 0.09 kilometers. If you remember math, you fucking move your fucking decimal over, and it will now be fucking 90 meters. The highest the kilometers go is 0.99. That is 990 meters away. Then after that, it will go to a click, which is 1.00 kilometers. So anything below a click, you need to transition from kilometers to meters. We don't fucking deal with fucking, 11.11 kilometers. It's just, we don't do that. So if it says 0.11 kilometers, it's 110 meters. Simple enough. Also, the arrow point gives you the cardinal direction and bearing in which it's facing. So if we wanted to get to the recruit training classroom, black spot, we would have to travel 100 meters, bearing 009 degrees, almost due north. So it tells you how far you got to travel, the bearing you got to travel, and your cardinal direction in which you got to travel. So this fucking tool is very handy. I would get used to playing with it up on your screen. It's great for calling out most of your 3Ds, your distance, description, direction. Obviously, the way you're facing, you can automatically get your fucking degree right now. So I'm facing 090 degrees. So if I see the fucking enemy, fire team, enemy squad, whatever, in that direction, I can look at my fucking micro dagger. Oh, it's fucking 090, and right there I can get 2 out of the 3 Ds down, and that fast. You can call up fucking, have an enemy squad bearing 090, break, hurry up and get the distance and finish it off. So right now I just gave them 2 out of the 3. I gave them a description, which is enemy squad, and it's bearing 090. Right there we'll get fucking the people that need to be looking, and chances are by the time I come back with the fucking distance, they'll probably already be engaging because I gave them 2 out of the 3 Ds already. Just that quick by having your fucking micro dagger up. Tracking everybody?
Roger that, Sergeant.
Alrighty. I believe that's all for the slides, correct, Sergeant?
Yes, Sergeant.
Microphone.
Sorry. Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. Alright. you want to take him over to the vehicle identification?
Yep.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, go ahead and sign up. Go ahead and follow me.
Don't forget your coverage, iPro once you get outside. Yep.
All right, follow me. All right, stand by. Stand by real quick. Yes?
User joined your channel.
Thank you, Sergeant. May I take a moment to relieve myself?
Do what?
Yes, yes. Bio break, yeah. Everybody can take a bio break real quick. Recruit Russell, you are in the wrong classroom. Recruit training will be in classroom 2, and he will put a message out in the main channel for when that happens.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Not a problem. Question, Private Toto.
I heard that the south scope is changed. Is that true, or do I need to use this one?
The what changed?
The scope.
For the AR?
Yes.
That one's perfectly fine. There's another one, but for right now, that one is perfectly fine. There's one like it's classified as like a SU-6 or something, and that one is also fine. It has a red dot on top, but like I said, that sight there is meant to be on the machine gun. It's an MGO, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Off comms.
Microphone
Oh, it's
muted.
backward. I see. Are we all back?
Activated.
Yes, Sergeant.
Drake?
Yes, Sergeant.
Tano? Alright, go ahead, follow me. Alright, this first one right here is a BTR. And I'm gonna give you guys an acronym real quick, and that means if you're trying to figure out what is a BTR or BMP, trying to figure out distinguish between the two when you're in a battlefield, remember that BTR it has an acronym, or you could use this as in big tires. So when you see a vehicle with big tires, what you may think it may be?
BTR,
BTR, there you go. Now, BTR is an APC, or in other words, an armored personnel carrier. And within its class, there are BTRs and BMPs, not BMPs, sorry, BRDMs, and these are armored personnel carriers. Now, everyone go over to BTRs real quick. Now, there's 3 variants of BTRs, 60, 70, and 80. They're all the same thing, and all the thing different about it is because one is newer, and it goes on higher, by the numbers is newer. And now, BTRs, they are equipped with a... Roger. The formations there, not formations, Christ. The BTRs are, equipped with a 14.5 kpvt machine gun, and sometimes they may be equipped also with a 7. I'm sorry, the turrets always has a 14.5 kpvt heavy machine gun, but there's always will be sometimes be equipped with a 7.62 PKT. Well, sorry, right by this turret. Sometimes be equipped with a 7.62 PKT tank coaxial machine gun. And I think you can see right now, this one is equipped with it on the side. I'll get over in this angle. Now, to continue, its max speed is 8 kilometers an hour, so it can go about almost the same speed as our regular VIX, which means that it can follow us if it wants to, and chase us if it wants to, if we're on foot. Now, the BTRs usually will be carrying troops inside of them, so they'll be carrying at least a total of about a squad worth of men. From its cargo side, you guys come and follow me. The troops will enter from the top of the Vic, and sometimes he can escape from the rear, as you can see right there. Now, the vehicle is amphibious, which means it can travel through water. Yes, private, tilde run off.
That was I was just about to ask.
Yes, the vehicle is amphibious. Alright, any questions with the BTR?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, go ahead and follow me.
As much of a piece of shit it is, it'll fuck an unsuspecting squad up.
Now, this is a BTR-80 Alpha. Now, as I said before, BTRs all have the same variant, but there's a reason why we want to point this one out more specifically. You guys see what looks different from this one than the other BTR?
Main gun, Sergeant?
Longer and it has a bigger gun.
Yes. This gun on top of it is basically a 30mm autocannon. What that means is that it can shoot out high explosive rounds more than more than once. So it can shoot out multiple rounds by holding on the trigger. And these high explosive rounds can devastatingly hurt us all. Now, we do have our 40mm, our 40 mics, and we have to reload them every time we shoot one round, but these big weapon systems can actually shoot multiple 30mm high explosive rounds at us, which makes it more lethally dangerous than a regular BTR. Now, the reason why the BTR-80 Alpha is also dangerous along with the BTR-80 is because the turret was improved for a 60-degree angles, allowing it to even look even higher than regular BTRs. And now, with it being equipped with the 30mm autocannon with it as well, it can engage our air assets at the same time. So the 60-degree increase, allowing it to engage aerial targets, makes it very devastating to not only us, but towards our friendly airframes. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, now the basic engagement ways, yes.
Don't think you can hide in the same spot if that BTR was fucking engaging you. If you're behind a nice big fucking rock and you're not getting hit, this just has to shoot to the sides, even fuck up around and shoot one over the rock and land behind you, and the shrapnel will fucking take you down with the quickness.
Yep, all it has to do is just shoot behind you.
You need to find fucking earthen cover, deflate and get behind it, or a fucking building, not inside of it. Chances are to take the fucking building down, but
this thing could take anything down that you hide behind. Your best way to actually hide behind something that you know for sure that cannot be destroyed. So buildings aren't one of them. So you gotta be careful whenever you're around a BTR-80 Alpha. So and that continues on and follows on to what I wanted to say as well. So the basic engagement techniques is to use your regular law. A law can engage as effectively along with your M136 Heat AT4. Now, I usually would have you to reserve that M136 Heat for other targets such as the BMP, which you see right behind you. However, you could use that against the BTR. This also can be disabled, sometimes catastrophic, with your HE rounds, such as your 40mm or your 40mm HE or 40mm HEDP. But the HEDP does more effective hit than your regular HE rounds. Also, it can be penetrated with your 7.62 rounds, not your 5.56, 7.62 rounds. And that can penetrate through the armor and disable the crew that's inside, depending on where you shoot towards the armor piece. Now, with that said, can the weapon systems you're carrying right now, can that engage the armor piece right now?
Only if it's in the window in front.
No, you cannot. You cannot penetrate with a 5.56 rounds through that window. So the short answer is no. Your rifles that you have on you cannot penetrate through that armor. So even waste your rounds on it. If you see it, depend on your grenadier rifleman to engage this armor piece effectively. Now, what you want to do because it poses its greatest threat towards any other armored piece besides the BMP-2, 3, and the MBT, is what you want to do is that you're going to have to make sure that you call this out, and if you see that big turret, you call it as an 80 Alpha. If it's a BTR, you can't figure out if it has a autocannon on top of it, just call it a regular BTR 80. But if you know for sure and you see that strange turret on it, then make sure you call it BTR 80 Alpha, because it can ruin out a whole platoon within one single stroke. You can take out our resupply airframes, anything like that. That may happen, which is why you need to call out this BTR more drastically than you need to call out any other armored piece. Besides the ones I will point out you need to call out dangerously as well. Alright, does anyone confused on what to do with the BTRs? What to call out BTR 80 Alpha is, distinguish between the two? Any questions with that?
Negative.
Okay, everyone knows what the BTR is and the BTR 80 Alpha is?
Affirm, Sergeant.
Alright, let's go ahead and move on towards this next APC. Alright, this is a BRDM. BRDM is mainly meant for as a reconnaissance vehicle, or an armored patrol car. It can be used for one of the two cases. It is also amphibious just as a BTR. Most times, it's always to be equipped with a 4.5mm KP-VT machine gun. Sometimes it will be equipped as well on the side of it with a 7.62 PKT coaxial machine gun. Now, the BRDM, like I said, is mainly meant for reconnaissance, and it's why it's an armored patrol car. However, it can be lethal because it can sneak up behind us without us even knowing. One time I've heard this thing come up and wiped out a whole fire team and plus 2 more guys, about 6 people. Almost wiped out a whole squad because no one knew that BRDM snuck up behind them, and it was able to just shoot them all. So
ran me over.
You need to be careful with it. You can even run over sergeants. As long as they see that patch on it, they'll run you over. So make sure you be careful whenever you see a BRDM. Everyone understands?
Yes, sir.
Alright, does anyone see the major distinction between a BRDM and a BTR?
2 fewer wheels.
Just smaller.
Yep, it's smaller.
It does not have a cannon, it has a machine gun.
Yep, it's smaller by the width. However, it does have the same rubber system that has the regular BTRs have. Now, it does have the same amount of wheels. However, the wheels are concealed by those two, how should I call it?
Side panels.
Yeah, the side panels. So if the two, it can still be operational. Most of the time, if the front and the rear tires get blown out, sometimes it may be operational to be used or not. And secondly, as well, if the vehicle gets on top of a sticky pointer of a hill. And now usually if it gets stuck in a hill, if you come over here, I'll do it on this side, it'll be easier for you to see. And then, if the pointer edge of the hill touches this part, now the vehicle cannot move anymore, but now the wheels touch the ground, these can help it to move, which is why it's a reconnaissance vehicle and an armored patrol car, helping them out to actually move or get away from everything quickly enough, or quickly as possible. Any questions of the BRDM before I continue on?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. Alright, we can go ahead and move down towards the BMPs. Alright, before I continue, you guys see the difference between these two BMPs in front of you?
Yes, Sergeant.
What's the difference? You should look at the top.
The one has missile.
Yep. Both of the missiles are a little bit different, and what else?
Larger cannon and larger cannon on one.
Yep.
Larger turret on the other.
Definitely. Now, the one on your left is a BMP-1. You always know it's a BMP-1 because it has the white. Sorry, went off. Got head tracked. It has a white unguided missile. So you just fire and forget. I'm sorry. They just fire and forget. So they just point out somewhere, shoot, and then they don't have to look at the target anymore. Unguided missile. Now on your right is a BMP-2, and this one's a little more dangerous because of 2 reasons. The first reason, it has a anti-tank guided missile, which is similar to our TOW missiles. So basically, all it has to do is shoot towards the target, and as long as it follows the target, or in other words, keeps its turret towards the target, the missile will hit where it's pointed at. So I could point at Corporal McCoy. If Corporal McCoy is running away, I could follow Corporal McCoy. As long as I follow him, the missile will follow where the target is at. But the target's moving towards you while moving away. If it's going sideways and moving towards you, then the rocket will probably miss the target. As long as target's going away from you and going sideways or whatever. But that's none of your worries anyways, because you're not going to be operating a BMP-2 anytime soon. But that's the difference between the unguided missile and the anti-tank guided missile. PTS, what does that mean?
Permission to speak.
That means you have a comment. Yes, go ahead.
By the way, the tow missile, sometimes it can be deflected by a bush or a tree, so you can use that if there isn't any cover.
Yep, I do advise never hide behind a bush, because they still just, as long as they exploded right by your feet. So if I'm hiding behind a bush right now, Drake is my bush, as long as a missile hits right here, I get hit by the shrapnel. So you can hide behind a bush. That is your concealment, however, it won't stop bullets. So all it has to do is shoot at you to make you run in that cover while that rocket is going towards you. Alright. Now, something I do want to point out between the BMP-1 and BMP-2. The BMP-2 has a 30mm autocannon as well, just as the BTR-80 Alpha has. BMP-1 does not. So if you see both these in the battlefield, which was more dangerous?
For the infantry, the second one.
Yeah, the BMP-2, which is this one right here. That's the BMP-2, that's the BMP-1. Because this one has a anti-tank guided, I say again, guided missile, and it has 30mm autocannon. Continue on from there. Alright, the BMP-2 could carry 7 troops instead of 8. So it carries less, I'm sorry, BMP-1 and 2, so they carry less than what the irregular, what the BTR can carry. Troops enter the vehicle from the rear, and the effective way is to engage a BMP, and the same thing with the BTR. Come over here. You hit it from the side, from the rear. That way the troops can't come out. Or if you're able to have an elevated position, you can hit it from the top. Now, the best way to disable this armored piece is you come over here, you see the engine right here. If you had an elevated position, you hit that engine block right here, and the thing will go kaboom. As long as you got that law. If you have a law, then you could use that. However, the main engagement weapon systems you should use is your M136 Heat AT4. And worst case scenarios, you could use your law. The law can take this thing out within less than 75 meters. As long as you hit those really good engagement points, as I just pointed out to you. If you're in an elevated position, like I said before, hit the top. Either, if I were you, mainly just focus on the turret. As long as turret is disabled, all the vehicle has to do is try to chase it down and run you over, which they most likely will not be able to do. Or hit the engine, and you can make the vehicle catastrophic. But the engine's a little more harder of a target than what the turret is. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. Never, ever you want to engage this, just the BMP and the tanks. Never want to engage them from the front, as the front is most heavily armored than any other flanks of the BMP. Along with that, it is sloped. So if you try to engage it, that rocket would just bounce right off, or slide right off. If you hit it from down here, it's going to go down there in the bottom, and explode below the BMP, which won't do that much of a damage you can. Alright, any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, now there is a BMP-3 which is not listed on here. However, the BMP-3 is more dangerous. It has a little more of a darker green color, like the color of the BTR. It has almost the same exact color of the side of the BTR. That's how the BMP-3 would look like. Now, including with that, the BMP-3 is heavily armored, well, the most heavily armored IFV, or in other words, infantry fighting vehicle, and that's what the BMPs are. Excuse me. So, it's the most heavily armored vehicle in its service. Now, including with that, its main gun is a 100mm autocannon. In other words, it's a 100mm heavy, low velocity, high explosive shells. So, it's even more dangerous than the BTR-80 Alpha BMP-2. Which means it can take down a house within, or any building, depending on what it's structured with a couple of shots. Now, it has it, and basically this, its cannon is a rifle cannon, the coilless rifle cannon, and it also is equipped with a anti-tank guided missile as well, and it mounts with a dual-fed 30mm autocannon on the side of the turret, which means it engages with 30mm high explosive shells and with 100mm high explosive shells. So if it runs out of the 100 round ones, it still engages with HE still, if it wanted to. and then sometimes it will be equipped with a 7.62 millimeter PKT machine gun as well. Now we move on towards the ZSU, which is what you see right in front of me. This is ZSU. Yep, Shioka. Yep, this is
HE rounds.
Nope, not 30 millimeter. This one specifically is a ZSU 23. 23 means that it is a 23 millimeter autocannon, or 2 Alpha 7 autocannon. So they do have the Shioka 30, but the ZSU 30, but this is ZSU 23, which you'll be seeing throughout the battlefield, throughout your whole time here in 506. Now it's equipped with 4 times 23 autocannons, which is what you see right now in front of you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And basically the ZSU is a light armored radar guided anti-aircraft weapon system that is mainly meant to be a moving anti-aircraft defense system for the Russian army, but for any enemy forces that may want to use it. So this can engage any air assets that may be, which means our fixed wing and our rotary wing. This thing is in the area. You don't expect any reinserts, any extraction, any insertion, if need be, or any resupply, which means this thing is very dangerous for us. That's why you always need to call it out. Now, what's very noticeable that you see on this Shioka that stands out out of all of it?
The big thing on top, the radar.
Yep, the big radar dish on top of it. This is very noticeable, which means that it is very hard for this this vehicle, or this armored piece, to actually hide behind a wall. Because if it hides behind a wall, of course it conceals its body, but we're always going to see this radar dish on top of it. We should always know, hey guys, there's a Shioka on the other side of this wall, so let's not enter it from that side, let's enter it from the rear. Because this radar dish does not spin. So where we see that drum, the white side of the drum, you know that's the front of it. So we can always reach in from the other side where the white part of the drum is not facing. Now, like I said, it's very dangerous to our air assets, so don't expect any of air wings to come assist us, which is why this makes it a bigger threat for us to engage more effectively and to call out so it could be taken out. Now, this could be taken out with a law or an 84. However, it does not pose any effectiveness with any of our HE rounds. So don't, I'm sorry, not HE rounds, with any of our 40 millimeter rounds. So don't waste them. The question with Shioka.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. Now, can we tell the difference between this one with BMPs, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright. So at least one person's responding. We also have a Tunguska.
I was going to ask why is it not here?
Yeah, Tunguska is his bigger brother. It's not here, however, it's something you do see, actually. But it's not here, but we'll just point out some things about Tunguska. Tunguska is an anti-aircraft system as well. However, it's more improved than the Shioka, and I'll tell you what was improved in it. Basically, they gave it a 30mm autocannon, well, 2 times 30mm autocannon instead of 423. The reason for that 30mm autocannons was for it to engage the new improved airframes that we have, such as the A-10. A-10 could take a couple 23 HE shells. However, 30mm HE shells pose a more harder hit to the A-10, as A-10 is not really built to withstand 30mm rounds, 30mm HE shells, I should say. That's what Tunguska was mainly meant to combat our improved airframes. Now it has increased engagement range of 0.2 kilometers, which is 20 meters, to about 3 kilometers in altitude, and 4,000 kilometers from ground to ground. Now it has several surface-to-air missiles and has about 8, 4 on each side, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and it has a combined rate of fire between 3,000 to 5,000 rounds per minute. And it can fire through its optic or through its radar. Now, imagine Tunguska chasing after our fixed wing, so let's say the A-10, launches about 2 surface-to-air missiles towards the A-10 pilot. At the same time, it shoots towards our A-10 pilots with this 30mm HE cannons. Now, that means that it's harder for pilots to try to dodge these missiles, and at the same time trying to dodge the rounds that's being shot at them, which is the 30mm shells. Makes it even a harder fight for our 18 pilots, which is why our 18 pilots usually don't mess around with the Tunguskas than they do with the Shilkas. Any questions with Tunguska and the Shilka?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright.
Also
yes.
it has a spinning radar.
Yes.
Small spinning radar.
Tunguska has a spinning radar dish, which makes it very easy for you to distinguish between a Tunguska and a Shilka. And also, obviously, if you see the front of the Tunguska, you will see the 8 surface air missiles and the 2 30mm Owlet cannons. And it also has different camo. It's a little bit lightish green, light brownish, mixed with those 2 camo pieces on it as well. Any questions? Let's go ahead and move down. These are other variants of the BMP. This one specifically on the right is basically artillery reconnaissance. You can launch artillery shells and relocate if need be. So it's able to see where its shells hit and then try to relocate different positions so then the enemy won't know, or in other words, us, won't know where the location is at. And its artillery shells at the rear. It's equipped with a 7.62 PVT coaxial machine gun. Let's go ahead and move down over here to the main battle tanks. There are T-72, C-80s, and T-90s, and you rarely would see a T-100. But T-72, T-80, and T-90 is the main ones that you always be seeing. Now, to move on from there, the aim battle tanks is something that we'll never be engaging because our M136 Heat and our M72 Law does nothing to the main battle tanks. It'll just, all it's going to do is just scratch it, like how you'll get a paper cut to it. And then the main battle tank is just going to point its turret towards you and shoot at you if it wants to. So all the thing you're going to do is make it angry because you just hit it. Or hurt it, I should say. So weapon systems do nothing. Don't expect your 40mm HE shells to hit it or damage it because it does nothing to it as well. It has a very increased armor than what the BMPs have. It's meant to be a main battle tank. It's meant to actually withstand any infantry, light armored anti-tank weapon systems. However, what can engage this weapon system would be our air assets, and along with our weapon squads. Weapon squads, like I said, carry the Maz rocket, and they carry the Javelin. Javelin can turn this thing into a paper. So from big old tank to one single paper of a previous tank of what it can be, because it hits it from the top down. Alright, now if the worst case scenarios, if you need to engage this weapon system with your Law or your AT-4, which is your last resort, you always leave this up to your to the weapon squads. However, like I said, worst case scenario, you come over here and follow me to the rear. Right here is the engine compartment. You can hit it, if you have an elevated position, you can hit it from the top, make this thing go catastrophic. Now, if you only see the front of it and you're in an elevated position, you hit the turret, at least you can't turn anymore. Lastly, hit the engine, which is right here, you can make it go catastrophic. From a Law, from about 50 meters or less, catastrophic. From your AT-4, 75 meters or less, from only these engagement positions, you can make it go catastrophic. If you are only from the ground, not in elevated position, if you can hit the turret from here, you can at least stop the turret from moving. You can still follow us if it wants to. However, now weapon squads have an easier shot at it because then they won't shoot at the weapon squad. However, this thing can go back to base and be repairable, which is why weapon squad needs to be able to finish it off, even though the turret is disabled. Now, the sides are one of the only non-effective ways to engage it, but if you need to, if you want to disable tracks, you can. However, the turret can still shoot at you, but hit the turret from the side, or hit the body from at least 25 meters or less. If you hit the side of the body for 25 meters or less, you can at least disable the vehicle, but don't expect it to go catastrophic. Like I said, the only catastrophic positions that you can is from this exact engine compartment, which is right there, or 25 meters or less from there. Disable it 50 meters or less from there. Yes, Corporal McCoy.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Make sure I'm yelling.
Is that better, Sergeant?
Yes.
Thank you, Sergeant. Just to add to what the Sergeant was saying about those engagement ranges, if you're engaging this thing at 25 meters to 100 meters, you have much bigger fucking problems. So try to avoid that scenario from even becoming a thing if you can. Thank you, Sergeant.
Yep. Remember, like I said, engagement range is only 50 meters or less. So you can put yourself in grave danger trying to take this armored piece out. So all in worst case scenario. And that worst case scenario means this BMBT is in your position and weapon squad can't get onto you in time. That's why 50 meters or less is your engagement range, because that MBT is on your position. MBT is about 100 meters away from you and poses no threat, or at least a threat. However, it's 100 meters away from you. You might as well just wait and bunker down. Hide behind some hard cover. However, it can take out a building if it needs to. But it has bigger threats to engage, though. Alright, let's turn around, take a 180.
If you don't give it a fucking target, it won't fucking fire, so don't be fucking dumb and stick your head up and looking at it.
Yeah, if it's on the road, I wouldn't advise you to run across the road. If you're driving one of our vehicles and you see MBT on the road, you can drive that vehicle and take it off the road and put it between a building or whatever. Just get that vehicle out of line of sight of that MBT. So one shot could disable the vehicle, make it go catastrophic immediately. Alright, take a U-turn. U-turn, whatever you want to call it. In front of you, you'll see two unarmored personnel carrier trucks. Or they just call it troop transport vehicles. Now, on your left is a gas. On your right is a Euro. Take them out easily with your HE shells from your grenadier or your grenade launcher. 7.62 rounds get penetrated tires. You can use your 5.56 rounds to engage from the rear, which is where the opening is at. Take out the driver from the front. Need be. And lastly, your law is meant for soft targets. However, I would not, if I were you, would not waste it on these unarmored troop transport vehicles. These can carry at least a squad, plus a few more. If you see the front of the vehicle, take a driver first, then a passenger, and then launch a couple HE shells at it. If you're looking at the rear, use your rounds and shoot through the opening, of course, and take out the targets. If I were you, I would shoot first the two guys on the side, because these guys are the only ones you're able to actually shoot out of the vehicle. So engage them first. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative.
Alright, let's move down. Alright. These are what you call a gun truck. They're not technicals. Technicals are mounted with guns, are civilian vehicles mounted with guns. These are gun trucks. These are actually meant for military use or purposes. Now, with these gun trucks, you have a ATGM. I'm sorry, not ATGM. Sorry, automatic grenade launcher or AGL, and then you have a dishgun.
It's like an ASG or
AGS 30. Yeah, AGS 30. An AGS is an automatic grenade system. Now, to move on from there, these are very effectively these are very effective against us, because all they have to do is keep on moving around, keep shooting as long as they want. Which is why gun trucks are very crucial to be engaged when you see them. You see a enemy infantry coming towards you, and you see a gun truck, you engage a gun truck first, because they can move and reposition quickly, more effectively than what a regular moving infantry can. Now, to include with that as well, to effectively engage these gun trucks, you just shoot the gunner first, then shoot the driver. Don't just shoot the gunner thinking the vehicle is no longer a threat. The driver could go and hide behind a position, go in the gunner's seat, and wait for us to peek from a position that is at, and then engage us effectively. So shoot the gunner, then the driver. Do not shoot the driver and the gunner first. Shoot the gunner and then the driver. You can engage him with just your 5.56, 7.62 rounds. However, if you're a machine gunner, I wouldn't advise you to waste your rounds on them. And then you engage him with your HE shells. There's a reason why I never said with your law. Law is the last resort, but never use your law on a gun truck, because you easily can take them out with your HE shells, and HE shells can make these things go catastrophic. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, go ahead and follow me. Alright, this is an Mi-24. This is a gunship. It's equipped with various missiles and rocket pods, as you see from this type right here.
And bombs.
That is the wrong button. That's a rocket pod, and those are the missiles right there, and it's equipped with a Gatling gun below it. So the gunner can engage this if it wants to. Yeah, it's too close to the ground. It has to be elevated for you to see it. But you realize it once you're in the battlefield and you see something shooting at you. And you're wondering what it is, and you see that flying right past you. Now, to continue on, it has capabilities with housing troops in the center of it, which means it has a cargo capacity. You can carry within a squad, and plus a few more couple of guys. Has a cabin for a pilot and a gunner. So the gunner could effectively engage us with his HE Gatling gun, while the pilot engages us with the rockets or the missiles if it wants to. Now this thing does have a tail rotor, which means you can shoot a tail rotor and make it go haywire and spin to its death, unless the pilot is very experienced enough to be able to land that airframe. However, it is not penetrable with the 5.56 7.62 rounds. Does not cause any effect with our 40mm HE rounds or HETP rounds. You gotta launch about 7 or 8 of them at least to disable the airframe or take out the rotors. Which means you could do nothing to this airframe. Same thing with the MBT. And if you're a weapon squad, you can do nothing with it as well. The only thing you can do against this airframe is to call out to your higher chain of command, which means if you're a team leader or team member, take it to team leader, take it to squad leader, and then goes up higher in the echelon. So then we can call in their air assets to take this thing out. If you see it landing, make sure you call it out, because then we can wait for troops. Because it could possibly take it, be landing some troops, which means we could take out the troops coming out of it. And we might be able to use our AT-4 on it. However, we never will use our AT-4 and waste our anti-tank weapon systems on it, because like I said, these are only meant for tanks or armored pieces. So we're never going to use the weapon systems against this this airframe. Does everyone understand about that?
Affirm, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
will we be engaging this airframe anytime soon?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, it's one person knows. Alright, go ahead and follow me. Alright, these two are the enemy air transport vehicles. Anyone see the difference between the two? The one on the left and the right.
I think the one is MI5 and the other is MI8, or both are MI8 and just one.
Oh, I'm just asking in difference, not the classification, but a difference between them by their appearance. What's the difference between the two?
Armed.
Yeah, one's loaded for bear, the other just has machine guns to
Yep.
Suppress.
The MI8, armored MI8 to your right, has rocket pop. We just call that an armored MI8. And the MI8 to your left is just regular MI8. It's still equipped with a machine gun on its doors, side doors, and long guns on its cargo door as well. However, the MI8 to your right is equipped with rocket pods, which means it can engage this effectively better than what the MI8 can. Yes, I said more better. These can carry at least 2 squads and a couple more. Same thing with our regular friendly troop transport helicopters can. Any questions with the MI8s?
Just one, Sergeant.
Yep, go ahead.
We refer to the MI8 AMTSH as an armed
MI8, yes.
When calling it out.
Yep. Just call out that simple term, because usually people just don't get when you call out the whole classification number, because they do not know that. They'll always forget the classification number. So you're just going to call out as a regular armed MI8 helicopter. And if they don't get what that means, you just tell them you're armed hip. If they don't get what that means, then you just tell them the MI8 with the rocket pods. But I'm pretty sure some squad leaders should know what an armed hip or armed helicopter is. And let me go over that as well. The Mi-24 is also called as a hind, and Mi-8 is also called as a hip. Let's go ahead and move on towards our friendly airframes. First off, to my right is
64.
Say again.
AH-64.
Yep, AH-64 Apache, and this AH-64 longbow. The Apache is equipped with the rocket pods you see on the rear sides. No, I mean rear sides, I'm like there. And it's equipped with Hailfire missiles, which is right there. And along with a high explosive Gatling gun that is controlled by the gunner. This is mainly meant for reconnaissance. As you can see, it has a camera that's equipped with thermal optics as well, and night vision optics as well. Now, along with that, these the Apache is mainly meant for reconnaissance and for gun runs from long ranges. You'll be seeing this escorting our troop transport helicopters. Excuse me, most of the time. If not, you'll be seeing the Little Bird. Now, the Apache, its call sign is Warlord. And you mainly be seeing Apache doing gun runs from about at least 2 kilometers away or by hill. You'll never be seeing it doing gun runs inside of the AO or flying near enemies and friendlies. Most of the time, you be either seeing it about 5 kilometers up in the air or more, or away from the AO, still 5 kilometers in the air, and engaging enemy, well, just enemies from afar. The question with the Apache, Palestine Warlord.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. About face, you go ahead and see the Little Bird. Palestine Lancer is equipped with a rocket pod on your left and a Gatling gun on your right. That one is not high explosive. It's equipped with a camera below the airframe, as you can see, right around there. Which means it can give out reconnaissance for us as well, and perform gun runs as well. You'll be seeing this half the time as well during a escort with our friendly transport airframes. The questions with the Little Bird.
Negative, Sergeant.
It is not meant for transport, so don't be expecting it coming. When you see it coming, land, don't expecting it to pick us up. Now, in front of us is the A-10, call sign Thunder. Thunder's equipped with various missiles and bombs, and with a high explosive gun in the center. Thunder will be doing gun runs, close air support, very close gun runs most of the time for us. If we have danger close for, contacts, mainly be seeing the Thunder or the A-10 doing gun runs against MBTs and any other armored vehicles that we cannot engage. Now, the A-10 can engage Shokas from a far distance, not Tunguska's. Tunguska has an improved distance with their radar. And along with that, the A-10 will not be within service if there is a Tunguska or Shoka nearby and they cannot find a Shoka because we did not know its location. Any questions with Thunder?
Just one, Sergeant.
Yep.
What are these nostril bits right above the Avenger?
I think that's just there. Just exhaust, I'm pretty sure. I do not know. Yeah. I'm not part of... Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm not part of Air Force. Just the Army. Alright, Private Toteranov.
If this is called sign Thunder, then how do you call the F-35 Thunderbolt?
We don't use that. We just use A-10.
No, that's our call sign for this airframe. It's not the fucking call sign that the
NATO design.
Military.
NATO designation. No questions anymore?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, let's go ahead and move towards the last two, which is the transport birds. Alright. On your right, that is UH-60 Blackhawk. Call sign Phoenix. It can carry a squad plus 6 more. It's gonna carry a total. No. Pause for a second. Carry a total of 14 people. 2 door gunner slots, 4 seats in the front, and then 8 seats in the middle or towards the rear. Now, depending if the door gunner slots are taken or not, they can only carry a total of 12. Now, in addition with that, it is only enterable from the sides as a tier warder. So it can be enterable. We only enter it from the side, I should say. Now, if you do it in about face and turn around, you see the Stage 47 Chinook. It could carry at least a total of 2 squads plus a couple of guys, plus a few more. I'll say around about, let's see here, about 28 people. But that's a little bit too more. I think about 24 to 28 people it could carry, depending on whether that door and slots are taken or not by the crew. Now, in addition with that, does not have a tier warder. However, it's only enterable by a 45-degree angle. The Chinook is more faster and maneuverable than the Black Hawk. Now, Chinook's call sign is Phoenix Heavy. Any questions with the Chinook and the Black Hawk?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. Alright, we're gonna go over... Yeah, go ahead.
Can the Phoenix carry anything? I mean, can it lift anything?
Yes. Along with the Black Hawk can lift ammo crates as well. But Chinook can carry vehicles if it wants to, but we don't use Chinook to carry any of our Cougars. Does that answer your question? Any more questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, we're going to go over mounting and dismounting these airframes. We're going to go over the formations, and then we'll end it off with combat procedures. We got time to go over a quick section of QCB, but I'm pretty sure we don't.
No, we still got to go over formations.
Yep, I just said that. We're going to go over mounting and dismounting formations, then combat procedures.
Okay. No, alright.
Yep. Alright. Let's go over Black Hawk, and then we'll go over Chinook, and then we'll go over dismounting. Alright, so first off, this is mounting. Let's do this the quicker way. Come over here. You're always going to be boarding it from a 90-degree angle. Just like this straight angle right here towards the door. You're going to be stopping from this point right here. You're not going to be actually touching the door because you need room for the pilot to open the doors. The door's open, it's going to slap you. You're going to be laughed at. Now you're going to be this far distance away from the bird, and you're going to get yourself in a position where you're ready. Your gun's not going to be on your back, however it's going to be on your hand. Magazine loaded, you're going to be on safety. You're going to wait for the orders of the squad leader, or another term, which is shock leader, and you'll learn that in air assault. And wait for orders from the shock leader or your squad leader for them to tell you that you're cleared to board the bird. If you didn't have that given that order, you're just going to be sitting in this formation until you get that order. Now, you gotta wait for the squad leader. The squad leader, you mainly be getting that order from the pilot. If you hear the pilot tell the squad leader to board the bird, that does not give you the permission to board the bird. You gotta wait for the shock leader, squad leader, to tell you you are cleared to board the bird. Once you're given that all clear to board the bird, you're gonna go ahead and double tap control to where your rifle is now pointing up, and then get your rifle off of safety. From any point in time, make sure you're not going to accidentally click your left mouse button, start break immersion, or pulling your trigger where it causes you to ND, and you're gonna by pulling the hole between the doors or between the bird. Everyone understand?
Yes,
Alright, do I need to say the whole procedure again on how to mount the bird?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative.
Alright, so you're going to approach this bird in a 90-degree angle. You're going to stop right here. You're going to be in the same line, file as what you do in PCC. Alright, team leader, AR, grenadier, rifleman, and then usually the last in will be either some other element or squad medic / squad leader or both. Now this is usually be the squad leader on the side, so you usually won't be mounted in the same side you're mounted in. But that's how it usually be looking like on this side. So, team leaders, once squad leader has got an order, once he says with your team net, Alpha Bravo go ahead and board into the bird. You'll tell your team, Alpha, we're clear to board, or whichever way you want to say it. And then you're going to mount up to the helicopter. Once team leader's in, usually the first one in, team leader, you're going to take door gunner slots. Write this down. If you're boarding in the left-hand side of the bird, which is this side, you're going to select the crew chief slot. I say again, you're boarding in the left-hand side of the bird, crew chief slot. If you're going to board into the door, if you're boarding in from the right-hand side of the bird, you're going to select the door gunner slots. I need to say that again.
One more time, please, Sergeant.
Alright, yep, you're boarding in from the left-hand side of the bird, you're going to select the crew chief position. If you're boarding in on the right-hand side of the bird, you're going to select the door gunner position. Because at all times, team leaders are always supposed to be selecting, or always supposed to be getting in the door gunner positions. This is for all of you if you ever become a team leader, or if you be assigned as team leader during day 4. Any questions? Any say it again? Nope.
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, now for team members, you're gonna say over your team net that you're in. So let's say if I was team leader, this is what you guys would do. O'Connell's in. Todorinov is in. Drake's in. Then, O'Connell, once you hear those 3 guys say they're in, then you'll tell your squad leader in. You don't have to say over your own net that you're in, because you already know that you're in. Unless you don't know that you're in. But once you hear those 3 guys say they're in, or depending on the size of your team, then you can say over your squad net, Actual, this is Alpha, we are all in. Once Actual knows, that way he knows, he'll tell the pilot to take off, or that everyone's in, and he'll say the term all in. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, if you're in a dirt gunner's position, so, team leaders, make sure that Gatling gun's facing towards the ground and facing towards the front of the bird. Reason for that is because we don't want any ENDs puncturing a hole on these warders. Everyone understand?
Yes.
And we also don't want it shooting any friendlies, any ground infantry, or any birds leaving or entering the airfield. Now, if your side is full, you're gonna rotate during these two following things. Either yourself crouched and you're gonna follow closely to the bird and go around that way, or you're gonna exit out of the wingspan of the warders and then go around the bird. You notice how long this is, and then approach it from the same way, and then kneel back in into the wingspan and then get inside the bird. Those are only two ways to go around to the other side. Don't go from the rear, because the tail warders are back here, and the pilot will not see you trying to enter the bird, and he'll just go on an assumption that everyone's in because he thought maybe the squad leader forgot to call it out. And then he's going to go on an assumption and take off, and he may back up into you, or just leave you. So make sure you go around from the front so the pilot can see you and keep the bird on the ground. Now, if I were you, I'd advise you just doing the first way, which is keep your head down, keep yourself close to the bird, because that's the quickest way. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, go ahead and follow me. Now, dismounting is a little different. You dismount as soon as the bird touches the ground. You don't need no order from those squad leader team to tell you to dismount. You dismount as soon as that bird touches the ground. Sometimes, in some cases, you may have to wait for the pilot to tell you when you're free to dismount. Sometimes it may be a hot LZ. The pilot would say dismount or not, and you may take off and go to a alternate LZ. But in most cases, scenario when that bird touches the ground, the pilot will always say get out or dismount or whatever, and you'll dismount. But once the bird touches the ground, what should you always do?
Form a 360 security.
What Drake said, dismount, and then yes, form a 360 security. You're still right, Private O'Connell. When you dismount, you're gonna form a 180-degree security on your side of that you dismounted, which will automatically form that 360 security. Now, Alpha, say you're born on the left-hand side, and you all got kicked out the same side, which is why I told you to mount up in the crew chief slot, because they'll kick you out the side that you entered from and the position that you got in. However, if you enter from the left side and you just click the right and back seats, it'll always kick you out from the left-hand side of the bird. Now you're going to form that 180-degree semicircle, the same way you see the demonstrators do. Now you notice that it's not always a perfect circle, but however, the perfect thing that makes this perfect is that everyone's watching this sector, as you can see what's happening right now. Everyone see that?
Affirm, Sergeant.
Now, you don't want to keep yourself too close to the bird, because it'll give room for the squad leader and squad medic to be, and you don't want the squad medic squad leader to be very close to the bird as well. So you got to give some room. You should be at least, the ending side of your barrel should at least be within the wingspan, or touching the ending of the wingspan of this bird. So everyone understands what I'm saying? Yes? Alright. Now, if you get kicked out the wrong side of the bird, something we do say is, you just stay fucked. You stay out that side of the bird, you kicked out the wrong side of the bird, you stay there. I just formed that 180-degree circle, you just let your team leader know that you're out. So that does segue to the next portion. Once the bird touches the ground, this is what you'll say. If I was team leader, O'Connell's out. Fedonorinov is off. I'm out. Drake is out. Then me as team leader, I already know I'm out. And I'll just say, actually, it's Alpha, we're all out. Everyone understands?
Affirm,
Yes,
Alright.
Sergeant.
So, I believe O'Connell's team leader, correct?
Correct, Sergeant Smith.
So, would you call that you're out?
Not to my team, but to squad leader.
Yep,
Sorry.
tell the squad leader that your whole team is out, yep. And would you call that you're in the bird?
Say again?
Would you call that you got into the bird or you boarded in the bird? Would you say O'Connell in?
Not to myself, no.
Yep.
To squad leader.
Yep, you tell your squad leader the alpha's in. And remember this, whenever you tell your squad leader the alpha's in, you're talking on behalf of your whole team. You don't tell your squad leader alpha's in until you know that you heard from 3 of your men that they are in. Then you'll tell your squad leader that you're in. Alright, everyone understands on that point?
Affirm, source.
Yes.
Alright. Now the reason why I told you to make sure your rifle is pointing up, it's because you get kicked out the same way you entered the bird. So your rifle will be pointed up when you get out the bird. Alright, I believe you guys shouldn't be confused on that point. You guys have any questions on dismounting the Black Hawk?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, let's go and demonstrate this real quick. Alright, we're gonna go over. You're gonna practice on mounting and dismounting. So do it right here on this side. Usually doesn't matter by who lines up first, but in theory, team leader, team leader, AR, grenadier, then rifleman will be in theory. So go ahead and show me the theory point first, and then we could do it any kind of way. So team leader, AR, grenadier, rifleman. We'll pretend that Drake is a rifleman here. Total enough supposed to be between Drake, but we didn't got time to fix that. Alright, so what y'all doing right now? You're waiting for what?
Clearance from the squad leader.
Yep. Permission to board. Permission granted. Alright, Alpha Bravo, go ahead and mount up to the bird. Yep, to the front of the bird. There you go. Private Toldenhoff, make sure your rifle is not loaded this time. Only in a real life scenario.
Dragon.
That was in squad and now on team net. You're gonna pretend that Drake that you're a team member, not a team leader. Make sure you're talking on your team net.
Yeah, he's on squad.
But there's nobody on my team net, so I did.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll just attach you to Alpha for now. All right.
Actual, this is Alpha. Alpha's in. Over.
Roger, Alpha. Alright, and then Bravo will say that they're in. Alright, the bird touched the ground.
Drake out.
Alright. As you can see, you notice how Todornov got kicked out the wrong spot. And he did exactly that. He stayed where he got kicked out of. He did not rotate. Now, remember, we got to uphold a 180-degree security, correct? So, Kano, what is your primary focus of sector? What is your primary sector to focus on, I should say?
My primary sector would be towards the front left quadrant of the LZ.
Yep. I guess I'll say that. And if it were done towards cardinal direction, towards southeast, and then Private Drake, what is your primary sector?
Directly in front of me?
Nope, there's only 2 of you, so you'd be primarily focusing towards the northeast. Remember, if it's only 2 of you guys, only 2 of you have to uphold the whole 180-degree security. If there's 1 of you, you're going to hold the whole 180-degree security, which is what Private Tordunov has to do. Alright, so I did forget to point out, if you are in that door gun slot, you're going to be the last one to dismount, and I forgot to tell you guys that. But you're a force multiplier in that Gatling gun, which is why you're going to be the last one to dismount the bird. So usually you have to wait, hear all your team saying that they're out, then you can dismount. Or look behind you. But if I were you, I'll just wait and hear if my 3 guys dismount it, and then that way you know that they're all out. Alright, gentlemen, got any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, recover on me. I'll go ahead and go towards Chinook. Alright, where is the Chinook's call sign again?
Phoenix Heavy.
Phoenix Heavy.
Yep, alright. Now, you guys notice, these guys are mounting up on a different way than what they would do in the Blackhawk, correct?
Correct.
Yep, this is a 45-degree angle. The reason why I'm mounting the 45-degree angle is because the burner is right here. They don't want to risk themselves to getting a 30-degree burn, so they don't want to be within this sector right here, which is where the burners will start hurting. However, if they approach the bird from 45-degree angle and they're right here, they don't worry about being burned from anywhere around this area. But from around here, where O'Connell's standing, Drake's standing, Totoronoff is standing, you can risk yourself getting a 30-degree burn. Alright, to move on from that point, you can load in the 45-degree angle. Usually one squad would be in different sides, I should say. So one squad would be on the left 45-degree angle, and then another squad would be on the right 45-degree angle, which is where we're all standing currently right now. Now, to move on from there, you're still going to wait from the orders of the shock leader. In this case, the Chinook, because it's bigger. So from the shock leader or from the squad leader, but the shock leader will be in charge of both the squads. Usually would be assigned by one of the two. They'll decide who it is, but you learn on air assault. But to continue on from there, once you get ordered to board into the bird, you get permission from your squad leader. Squad leader will tell you, then you can board into the bird. Once you get a permission to board in the bird, you're going to double tap the control key and make sure your rifle's pointing up again. Same thing you do if you're boarding into the Blackhawk. Same thing. I'll tell you what's the difference between the two. The only difference between the two is you're going in for a 45-degree angle, and they will continue on now. But I'll tell you the other differences. Now, like I said, you make sure your rifle's pointing up once you're permission to board. Once you're going to board the bird, so your rifle is up off the safety. Make sure that magazine's loaded in. You can go to the bird. If you're a team leader, you're gonna go and select the door gunner crew chief's position. Doesn't matter this time. You're all going to be kicked out from the rear of the bird. And then you select the right and back position if you're not team leader, or you can select the passenger right ramp or left ramp position. If you're going to board in the right hand side of the bird, the only option you'll see is right ramp. If you're boarding in from left hand side of the bird, which is right here, the only option you'll see is left ramp. Y'all want to see that right now? You can see that right now. On the right hand side, all you see is right ramp. If you're on my side where I'm at right now, all you see is left ramp. Alright. That's the only thing significant about the Chinook. The more important things you'll see about dismounting. You guys got any questions mounting to the Chinook?
Just one, Sergeant.
Yes, go ahead.
The shock leader.
Yep.
Would that be... I guess I just sort of blanked on this, but would that be one of the squad leaders? Or...
Yeah, most likely one of the squad leaders or a designated person. Sometimes it'd be platoon HQ or whatsoever. Most time, okay. If platoon HQ element would be in your bird, he'll most likely be the shock leader, or he might let one of the squad leaders be the shock leader.
And the chain of command for that will be shock leader, other squad leader.
Yep.
Rest of the guys.
Yep. Thanks. Most likely. Sometimes, though, usually task force command, if they're in your bird, then most likely would be top of chain of command. Usually they'll be above. Well, they'll place themselves above the shock leader. Because, of course, they're the only ones that they developed whole op orders, so they should know the alternatives. Alright, go ahead and follow me. We go towards dismounting. Corporal Coy had a comment? Yes?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Sergeant. Just to add to that, the primary job of the shock leader is command and control of the fast rope system, so that's where their chain of command overrides all, is order of fast roping and air assault procedure, but the task force commander would still have overall command of the mission.
The most time you only would never see a shock leader, unless we're doing air assaulting, the actual main cause of the 506, which is air assaulting. But however, the reason I just threw out the term of shock leaders is because that's a term you'll be hearing in air assault and what you'll be seeing. But in the bird, shock leader will have command, and when telling the men to fast rope out the bird, but the task force commander will always have whoever is the higher echelon chain of command that's in that bird will always have command in that bird, besides the pilots. But the pilots will have command when the bird's in the air, but the task force command will have command on the ground infantrymen inside that bird and what they should do. Go ahead and follow me on dismounting. Corporal Coy, can you open up this ramp for me?
Yes, sir.
Alright, So we go over first. We just show you guys this while we wait for that ramp to be opened up. Private Connor, make sure you get that magazine off that rifle if you can.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yep. All the time, like I said, this is just practice, and we're about getting that rifle system, weapon system loaded in. All right. So you notice here, this is a little bit of a bigger 180-degree circle or semicircle you see right now. A little bit fanned off away from the bird to give everybody else room to get out the bird. This is only a squad doing this formation. Imagine 2 squads plus a couple more guys actually doing this whole big 180-degree circle. Now, usually, come over here. The only 2, this position right here. Come over here. Come closer. The 2 guys that are only tasked doing this position are usually guys on the right cargo door position and the left a cargo door position. Because they're the first 2 out the bird. So if you're the first 2 people out the bird, you either go left or right. You're going to butt hook left and right to get security to the front of the bird. And most likely, we're in the heat of the combat and we just get into a danger zone or a combat area. We don't have time to usually think of doing this. So if you come out the bird, you're maybe the 10th guy out the bird. If you don't see the security being brought up to the front of the bird, go ahead and fill that out. Alright? But for today and demonstration purposes for you practicing, don't worry about that. Just worry about the security at the 180-degree circle when you're going to dismounting, okay? But when we're going to combat zone, remember to get the security to the front of the bird. Alright, go ahead and follow me over here. So I said before, you got that right ramp seat and the left ramp seat. This is where the seats are at. So I'm going to go select the right ramp seat. You know where I was at, right? That was the right ramp seat. Alright, let me go ahead and show you the dismount order. So we dismount in an orderly fashion here in the Chinook, not in the Blackhawk. Because if most people start dismounting, people start getting up to tear word of the bird will begin to go catastrophic or be disabled. Depending on how fat the person is. I'm just kidding. It'll always go catastrophic or disabled, depending on scenario. Now, here's the first person to dismount the bird. This seat is the first one to get out. Second. Third. No, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. First. Second. Then third. Then fourth. Then fifth. Then sixth. And then so on and so forth. Then you need to show you it again?
Yes, please, Sergeant.
Alright, so this seat right here, which is the right ramp seat, from what you're seeing right now, which would be, but most likely my left hand side. This is the seat I'm in right now. This is the first person that would get out. And then the person in the right ramp seat, the left ramp seat, is the second one to get out, which is where I'm at. Then right here, third one out. Right here, the fourth one out. So if you're actually in the bird, the person on the right hand side of the bird will be before the person on the left hand side of the bird. Everyone understand what I meant from there?
Yes, Sergeant.
So if somebody was sitting right here, and then someone was sitting right here, and then someone was sitting right here, who dismounts first?
The one that's the most forward.
Yep, so I said there's someone right here, right? So this one will be the first one to dismount, right? And then it would be the guy right here, and then the guy towards the rear. I don't think you see what I'm pointing at. But you'll see.
Top of the helicopter.
Yeah, alright. Well, just don't worry about that then. But you guys see the order of dismounting, right? It basically zigzag. You guys saw what I'm trying to show you? Yep, alright.
Yes, Sergeant.
So if you're in the right ramp seat, you're the first one to dismount, and then it'll just go by the one in the left ramp seat, then the one on the right hand side of the person in the right ramp seat, and then person on the left hand side of the person in the left ramp seat, and so on and so forth. Until it gets to door gunners, and door gunners last one out of the bird, because once again, they're a force multiplier. So when the bird touches the ground, you wait your turn. Now the person by you does not get out in a reasonable amount of time, then you can skip his turn. Most likely, he's daydreaming. So just skip him and get out the bird. You want to get that bird out of the AL as quick. out of the LZ and out of the AL as quick as possible before any harm gets to it. Or any questions after that?
Negative, Sergeant.
All right.
Negative.
I want to point out, mounting into the bird only happens when we're in a friendly zone or safe zone, like in the base. However, in the Chinook, we still be going inside in an early fashion, because if more than 2 guys try to board the bird, you won't get the option. So wait your turn when we're in a danger area still. You still got to do that same formation in Chinook, but in the Black Hawk, you don't have to worry about waiting your turn. Just getting that bird. In Chinook, you got to wait your turn, but it doesn't matter how perfect that 45-degree angle is as long as you get the bird. Alright, any questions?
I have a question. Do we have Odyssey?
What, say again?
Odyssey. It's something like a Blackfish. It's a VTOL plane for carrying people.
Do we have a...
No, we don't have VTOLs.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I couldn't understand what he was saying. My apologies. Alright, dismounting in a safe zone. Base. You don't have to do this, alright? Everyone understands on that?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, let's go ahead and practice that on the Chinook. Alright, just go ahead and go in a 45-degree angle on the left-hand side of the bird. That's where we're going to have our squat mount up into it.
So go ahead and mount up, you said?
Nope, wait for the order. Wait for the order.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Alright, Alpha Bravo, go ahead and mount the bird. Make sure that your men mount up, make sure the rifle's pointing up. Like I say, you dismount the same way you mount up.
Actual, this is Alpha. Alpha is in. Over.
Roger, Alpha, make sure you select that door gunner slot next time.
Over the door. Thank you, Sergeant.
Alright, the bird touched the ground.
Toto Alpha. Actual, this is Alpha. Alpha is out. Over.
Roger, Alpha. Actual out. Alright, one that did not hear was over team nets letting your team leader know that you're in. But you guys need to remember to do that.
I did.
Okay, I probably was listening on team net, so I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I think I was listening on squad net. But I'm just reminding you guys, make sure you say over your team net that you are in the bird so your team leader can know. I'm pretty sure I think you guys actually did. Because there's no way of him letting me know that you guys are in. So I'm pretty sure I was on squad net and wasn't on my main channel. Alright, recover.
And from what I understand, we're all on different team nets.
Yeah.
I was told to be Bravo, he was told to be Alpha. So my team net is 0.2, his is 0.1.
Yep, don't worry about it. Come over here. If you're a team leader, make sure that you let your squad leader know. Alpha or Bravo. But yeah, I think I attached you to Alpha for that time being. But, any questions? Any questions?
Negative. Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, let's go ahead and go towards formations. Alright, this is what PTU was trained you guys for. At least we know that sergeants will never be outrun by PV1s, so if we get chased by some zombie, we know who to run by. Alright, is that everyone? Okay. In front of you, this is a diamond formation. A diamond formation is mainly is a perfect formation to develop a 360 security. Because if you realize, every man can hold their own sector when the formation is stopped and then when it's moving. Now, we mainly use diamond formation when escorting HVTs, prisoners, medics, down people in the center of it, whichever. And in which way you see Sergeant Margiotta in, we can imagine that he is one of our officers that we need to escort. Who doesn't like to carry a rifle around him, or whatsoever. So that's what we mainly be doing in the diamond. You usually see this being formed if we need escorting a high-value target, or if we want maximum security and firepower to all of our flanks when the situation arises. Now, when I say by down people, I mean usually the medic is carrying a down man we'll put him in the center of us and escort the medic to a safe location towards either a casualty collection point or a good location where he can banish that down guy if we're in a combat zone. Now, usually if the formation is in halt, this diamond will be spread out. If the team was in a wedge formation and they've halted, you most likely will see them form to a diamond to get that 360 security set up. Any questions with the diamond formation?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright.
Keep in mind, all these formations we're showing you are scaled closer. In all actuality, you want to make sure you're spread out, you got spacing, because a frag will kill all 4 of these people. So, just remember spacing.
Definitely, remember your spacing.
For training purposes.
Alright, I'm going to point out the single item first, and then we'll go over the whole squad size of this. Alright, this is a fire team file. It's meant for its quick movement. So it's able to give out most maximum amount of speed when traveling from point A to point B. However, it has poor security from its front and from its rear. However, it can provide maximum security from its sides, as all the men can engage any target that comes from their flanks. There's another reason why it has poor security from its front and its rear.
Because they can't bring the maximum amount of fire power to bear in either of those directions.
Yep. How many people can engage from the front or from the rear?
Just one.
Just one. The person behind him cannot shoot past him because the person's right in front of him unless he wants to move to his right. Now, however, the file can be able to switch into a diamond formation, into a wedge, if they want to. And I'll show you guys a wedge in a few moments here. So the file is very versatile, being able to switch between multiple formations, and is meant for its quick movements. However, poor security to front and rear, which is where most of your contacts will always be coming in from you. But not most time, half the time from the front, and half the time from your sides. Now, if you look from behind this file as well, you'll see a fire team file. Squad file. Works same way as fire team file. However, you got a squad medic and squad leader in the center between that point team and the root team. It's quick movement, once again, is the main reason for the whole squad. Usually you see this formation as well whenever we're traveling alongside a mined field. This way, people won't be blazing the trail. Everyone falls behind where the person in front of them just went through. You don't want nobody blowing up a mine and getting themselves causing a chain reaction and the whole squad blowing up by multiple mines blowing up because one mine blew up. Everyone understands what the fire team file is, squad file is? Any questions to the diamond or the file?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, move down towards... Oh, those are... I wonder what's over there. Alright, this is the wedge. Just look at these 4 men in front of you right now. Everyone see that?
Affirm, Sergeant.
Alright, this is a fire team wedge. It's a go-to formation for good security all around. From its front, from its sides, and if need be, from the rear. Everyone has a capability to shoot and able to use a rifle. Everybody gets a chance to shoot something. Now, a fire team file is designed by having the sides heavy based on the situation. If we know we're gonna get contacts from our left hand side, this team leader, as you see, he called for a fire team wedge heavy left. Now on that heavy side, the AR and rifleman will always be on that heavy side, no matter what. If there was a heavy right, who'll be on the right side?
The rifleman in the...
Rifleman, yes. The person on the weak side will always be the grenadier. Because if you get contacts to the left hand side, the grenadier can still launch his HE shells past friendlies. Because HE shells does not shoot straight front. They don't shoot straight, I should say. They shoot at an angle. However, once you get contacts, you always need to know, you always need to get into that skirmish line. But this formation allows for a quick reaction when getting in contacts, allowing every man to be able to engage enemy infantry effectively and quickly. Now, along with the wedge, it is slower. However, it allows most maximum effectiveness for the whole team. Now, along with that, if you want to try to figure yourself what a wedge is, just imagine a file opened up with having wings for it to fly slowly. Now, if you look behind you, if you look behind them, you'll see another wedge at the rear. Within the whole squad, this makes a squad wedge. That team in the rear is doing a wedge heavy what?
Right.
Yep, heavy right.
Yeah, right.
You always want to, if you're a fire team leader and you're in a squad formation and the squad's in a squad wedge, you always want your team to be in a heavy, you always want to be the opposite side. Your heavy side should always be the opposite side of the team in front of you or the team in the rear. But usually if you're the point team, you're the one that makes the heavy side first. Because the team in the rear has to change theirs because they're the only ones, because you can't see behind you. They can see in front of them though. Or in front of themselves. So you always, if you're the team in the rear, always want your side, your heavy side opposite the side of the team in front of you. This way you provide maximum firepower to both flanks. Get an AR on the right flank, AR on the left flank. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Don't be confused that, never be confused where the squad leader, squad medic always be. The squad leader, squad medic is always between the two teams in this formation. Alright, let's go ahead and move down to the next formation. This is a squad line. Now, is anyone confused why this is a squad line? You guys probably wondering why they're not actually in a line. The squad line is meant for them, everybody to be in a wedge formation, providing security from the flanks into the front. However, they're very, very weak from their rear. Now, the reason why it provides security from the flanks, because like I said, the wedge is very strong all around because it provides security from their flanks. So they get flanked from the right-hand side. The team on the right-hand side, which is this team right here, can effectively react to that contact and be able to bring 3 of their firepower to that right flank, if need be. Which is why this is why the squad line won't always be in that single line. It will be in a wedge. Now, the AR will always be on those outside wings of the flanks because it allows them to provide most effective firepower from the flanks and still gives them firepower to the front as well. It allows them to be able to be versatile and bring the firepower to the flanks if they get engaged from that area, if need be. So it doesn't make them minimum and limited to just the center, but gives them ability to engage the center and engage the flanks on the sides that they're on. Now, you can notice that fire team on the right hand side is in the fire team wedge heavy right. The team on the left hand side is in the heavy left. You guys notice that? That the AR is on the both flanks. Oh. Squad leader and squad medic will always be in the center. They'll always be behind their 2 fire teams. The squad leader always needs to be able to be alive. So they'll be able to be on their Android and mark up targets, communicate to the high echelon of the command, and all that sorts of fun stuff. Any question with the squad line? Before I give you the fundamentals of the squad line.
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative,
all right.
Sergeant.
So basically, like I said, 2 mirror fire team wedges. Now it brings a security to its flanks, like I said before, and it's mainly meant for attacking positions where we know the enemy is at. So if we know the enemy, this wall is right here, but we know the enemy is behind this wall where it compounds out, where there's a compound, and like I said, we're pretending that this wall is not there, but there's a compound in front of us, barricaded with testicle barriers. We can attack that position in this squad wedge, run all our firepower to the front, because we're expecting no enemy contacts from our flanks or from our rear, but we expect them all to our front. And we can get to that compound wall with all our firepower facing towards our front 180 degree. Alright, we move on towards... see what's to our right. Go ahead and follow me. Alright, no, that's a... Alright. Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me show you guys what a line looks like. This is a... so imagine these guys pointing towards me. Or pointing towards you now. That'll be a fire team line. So I want you guys to form up a line real quick. So to make sure you guys understand that since you don't see it. Yep, you'll be side by side. And now if we're in a combat zone, combat area, your space will be a little bit more bigger. However, since we're limited space, excellent. That's your fire team line. Any questions on the line?
Yes, Sergeant.
Go ahead.
When would a fire team line be used?
Good question, and I'd love to answer that. Go ahead and go on your map, real quick.
Hey, bro.
Alright. enemy engages from there, right? This is Alpha. This is Bravo. Enemy engages. Alpha, just imagine that enemy line a little bit closer. But Alpha is being engaged by enemies. They form a fire team line. Provide a base of fire for the maneuvering elements. Remember we said we can never push the enemy unless we have a base of fire. Or a team to provide supporting fire for the rest of the element. So Alpha is in a line. So that's when you form the line in that case scenario. And they'll be like that, right? Now Alpha is running base of fire to give the contact report to squad leader. Contact bearing 360. I'm pretty sure that's the way it looks like from there. No. 358, whatever. So squad leader hears that, and then Bravo hears that as well. So Bravo goes ahead and maneuvers. They're going to switch it to a fire team file. So you're going to imagine that they're in a squad column. Squad column, the front team's in the wedge, the rear team's in a diamond. So they're in a diamond, but they got engaged by contact, so they're going to switch to a squad wedge. They're going to maneuver. And then once they're on the right flank of the enemy, they're going to switch to a line. So if they're in a wedge like this, like that, this guy right here would just move up here, form that line, and then push the enemy. And then every man is able to engage it with the gun like this. You see it? So guys, get what I mean? Yeah. So you can form a line whenever you're maneuvering so you can switch from a wedge to a line and push the enemy from their flanks where everyone has maximum firepower to the enemy. And you form a line when you're doing base of fire. So those are scenarios where it happens. But a line can be formed in many other ways than that. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. This is the way I usually teach it to my my squad as well. That way they'll never be able to get themselves shot easily like that. Alright, any question with the line? Any more? I'm sorry, I think I just said that again. Alright. And I'll say this again, and I'll say the squad column is not on here. But come over here. You're gonna imagine that this rifleman was in a diamond. Y'all already know what a diamond looks like, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Those riflemen's right here. Usually we put an AR at the rear because AR has maximum firepower. If you get engaged from the rear, AR could to be able to engage it quickly before we can react to it. But this is
this is a squad column.
No, this squad column has a wedge and a diamond at the rear. Squad wedge has a wedge in the front and a wedge at the rear.
It's just a squad column.
Alright, well I'm going to tell you guys that this is a squad column, a squad wedge. However, until we can figure this out, just think this is a squad column for now. Alright? But, just think of formation with a wedge in the front and a diamond at the rear. And then you usually, this is what you'll use the squad column for maneuvering into the contact. What I mean by maneuvering to a contact, such as you'll be having that rear element provide a 50-meter spacing from the point team. So they won't be this close to that point team as you see right now. They actually would be a little bit further away. This allows reaction to contact. So the front team gets engaged. There's two things that will happen. The enemies won't see that rear element, and plus the rear element that's 50 meters away has enough time to react to that contact report and be able to maneuver. Any questions with that? With maneuvering?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, and you can do that in a squad with the rear team in a wedge or the rear team in a column. I mean, sorry, in a diamond. Let's move on towards the last fun part. And it's what you always be seen in a convoy movement or without a convoy movement. Now, imagine these cones that are road. No, he didn't put those cones as the roads. Imagine these cones is just the path of the vehicle where a vehicle can actually be. So, you see that the cones are in the center? So imagine that was a road, that's the path of the vehicle. Alright? Alright, so if this vehicle was in movement, then this is what would be in a squad staggered column. However, if we're in a staggered column without a vehicle, this will be a regular staggered column. Just like this. Come closer. You're going to have, sometimes squad leaders will have one team on both sides. So one team on the left hand side right here and the other team on the other side, which is on the right. Or you would have a point team, which is fire team in the front, and then you have a rear team at the rear. So let me elaborate that out more. So you have 4 guys on the left hand side, that'd be one team. 4 guys on the right hand side, that'd be another team. Or you could have 4 guys in the front, so 2 guys in the left, 2 guys in the right, and that'd be that team in the front. So you have the fire team leader, AR, grenadier, rifleman, and then you have that team in the rear, which could be Bravo or Alpha, and then it just once again fire team leader, AR, grenadier, then rifleman. So everyone understands how staggered column can be, right? You have a team either on both sides or a team at the front and at the rear. Everyone understands that?
Hey, Sergeant.
Any confusion? Or continue.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, this is a vertical formation. Basically, it's a stretched out file. You'll only be seeing this in the movement on the road. Or if we're moving down towards an urban urban area, which is like towns, then mainly we'll be having both fire teams on different sides. So one fire team on that side and a fire team on the right hand side. If we were just traveling across the road, that's when we have that point fire team most of the time. But it doesn't matter. You could have a fire team on the left hand side, you got a fire team on the right hand side, you got a fire team in the front and the rear. It doesn't matter. Now to continue with that, it's going to be incorporated with the vehicle. So usually we'll call it a squad staggered column with a vehicle escort. You always will hear this, that we'll never have the vehicle move up unless it's being supported by infantry. The infantry has to be in front of the vehicle, not the rear of the vehicle. So you see where the vehicle is at. Imagine the vehicle a little bit more closer towards the infantry that are supporting them right now. And the vehicle will always be on the road. These guys on the center, on the outside of the road, will always be on the outside of the road. You're never going to cross the road, because that vehicle has to stay in the center of the road. You're going to stop the vehicle from moving if you have to cross to the other side. So stick to your position. Now, like I said, you're going to have a dismount team, which is this team in the front. It's the team that is not tasked with the vehicle. They're going to be the ones who will be dismounted of the vehicle. They're going to be in charge of the security, not security of the vehicle, but they're going to be in charge of being in front of the formation of the vehicle, or the whole squad. You can follow me. These 2 guys in front of the vehicle is a squad leader and squad medic. Now, if you're running where that other fire team is at, that fire team's in charge of the vehicle. So you have that one buddy team, which is the Grenadier Rifleman, they're inside the vehicle, driving it and gunning it. And then that dismount team of that vehicle would be here. The fire team here in the AR. They're in charge of the security of the vehicle overall, and the vehicle is in movement, or the whole squad's in movement. They're in charge of the rear security of the whole Vic. Well, the whole squad. And they charge rear security Vic as well. Any questions? With a squad staggered column. And with the vehicle escort. No, Sergeant? Yes, Sergeant? Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I'm honestly a little lost.
Which part are you lost on?
I'm not really sure what question to ask.
Yep. Alright,
In what...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in what context... or I'm sorry, I really
it'd be a little easier if you see on the road. Yeah. Okay, you're confused on the vehicle section of it, or just the actual staggered column?
The staggered column I've got.
All right.
It seems like the vehicle sort of changes the way things are done. At least the way I had it in my head.
All right, so let me show you real quick. So just imagine, just as a regular staggered column. Remember how I said you got either the point team in the front and the point team in the rear, or you have one team on the left hand side and another team on the right hand side, right?
Correct.
All right. Just imagine the same thing. You got a point team in the front, right? And then you got a point team in the rear. So let me tell you what looks different here. So a squad is assigned to a vehicle, correct?
Correct.
However, we always need a person to man the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
So within that whole squad, one team is assigned to basically man the vehicle, and the other fire team is not assigned to the vehicle. There's just a team that moves around and does everything else as the squad would regularly do if they didn't have the vehicle. You understand what I'm saying from that part?
Right. Yeah.
Before I continue on?
Right.
Alright. So, in a dismount, when the whole squad is dismounted, now they're doing mount, and that's M-O-U-N-T, not M-O-U-T, mount. They're just moving alongside a road. they're given the order to do a hard dismount, and we'll show you that. Just soft dismount, and we show you that going over convoy procedures, which is right after this. So, the team that's in charge of the vehicle is over here. You see that right now? The team that's not in charge of the vehicle is over there in the front. So let me rephrase that again. So, remember I told you about the team that's in charge of the vehicle, the team that's not in charge of the vehicle, right?
Right.
Alright, so team in charge of the vehicle, there's 4 of them. It's the buddy team that's always will stay in the vehicle when the whole squad's moving. That'll be the Grenadier and the Rifleman. They're inside that vehicle. They're driving it, and the Grenadier is gunning it. So the Rifleman's driving, the Grenadier is gunning. Now, the 2 guys at the rear is just the other buddy team, or the rest of the fire team. They've dismounted out of the vehicle. There's no need for them to be inside the vehicle because they're not doing anything. So they'll be outside the vehicle, providing security to other Vic because they're in charge of the vehicle. So they're in charge. So basically, the reason why they dismounted the vehicle is to provide security for the vehicle so it won't get exploded by any RPG shells, anything like that. So they won't be securing, they won't be clearing out buildings, they won't be providing overwatch. The only time providing security to the buildings is the building that poses a threat that's by a vehicle. So there's a man inside a building. So say there's a building right here. There's a guy shooting inside that building. Then the team that's in charge of this vehicle, that buddy team would just go and clear out this building. Once it's clear, they move back to the vehicle and provide security for the vehicle. Now, a team that's not in charge of the vehicle, if they're at the front of the movement. So does that kind of answer your question a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. It's way more clear now.
Okay, and are you a little confused or anything that you may want me to clarify?
No, it's finally clicked in my head, so I appreciate it, Sergeant.
Yep, and then those 2 guys in the front, in the center right there, right by the front of the vehicle, that's just the squad leader and squad medic. Anyone else confused? Yeah, so just imagine this is the edge of the road on the left-hand side, and then this is the edge of the road on the right-hand side. This vehicle is in the road. No one's on the road, they're on the edge of the road. Alright, go ahead and follow me, gentlemen. We're going towards the convoy procedure. Oh, you got that open over here. Let's follow me on this way, and this is much more easier. Alright, we'll go over the last portion of vehicle PID. And then we'll go over convoy procedures, and that's just a quick portion real quick. Alright. Alrighty then, I'm going to go over here. I have you guys facing towards me. From right here in this road. Now, this is the road right here. These white and yellow and black lines, imagine that as the edge of the road. Y'all see that now?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright. Alright, so quick first thing. We always be using 2 types of vehicles, the RG-33s and the Cougars. RG-33 and the Cougar are MRAPs, also known as mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles. It's meant to protect the crew that's inside a vehicle from anything such as an RPG blast, IED. So it just protects the infantry inside the vehicle from those blasts. But most of the time, the vehicle may not survive from that impact, but at least the crew inside of it will survive. Now, the only RG-33 we'll be using most of the time would be the command vehicle, was what we call the command vehicle, because it has a telescope at the rear of it, allowing them, and which has capabilities of thermal optic, which allows them to range out for about several 100 meters to give out reconnaissance for their convoy. And to move on from there, the Cougars and RG-33s are mounted with 50 cals, or with the Mark 19s. 50 cals, just 50 caliber ammunition in it. It's just a regular machine gun with a higher caliber. And then the Mark 19s basically has a high explosive shells. It's an automatic grenade launcher. Alright. Move on from there, now I'm going to go on towards convoy procedure. Alright. First off, go over your vehicle positions. Alright, so everyone knows that the team has buddy teams, right?
Correct.
Alright. Everyone listen to me to buddy teams real quick.
Buddy teams were squad leader, or team leader and AR, and then grenadier and rifleman.
Excellent. Alright, so within the whole squad, when that's squad structure within a team has their own assigned buddy team linked up to their vehicle positions. So first off, I'm gonna go over your vehicle positions. Within the vehicle, the team. So actually, let me start with the first two people. The driver would be the rifleman. The grenadier will be the gunner. I'm missing one person there. Yes. The AR would be the passenger, and the fire team leader would be the vehicle commander. Do I need to say that again?
Negative, sir.
I'm sorry, but isn't the driver actually the one who can drive the best?
Yes, that is what we say during trainings, but that is the theory of it. That's just theory. In theory, those are your vehicle positions. Always the rifleman would be the driver, the grenadier would be the gunner, the AR would be the vehicle passenger, and the team leader would be the vehicle commander. But that's what we say after OSUT. And OSUT, that's positions you'll have. Okay?
Roger.
That's what we'll teach you, and that's what we will keep that in theory. However, yes, it is the best driver would be the driver, the best gunner would be the gunner. Alright, any questions with that before I continue?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, now in buddy teams, in the vehicle is the same way that you were assigned as just a ground infantryman not moving with the vehicles. So, driver and gunner will be buddy teams, and then who else would be buddy teamed?
Passenger and vehicle commander.
Yep.
Sergeant.
So once again, driver gunner will be buddied up, vehicle commander and passenger will be buddied up. But these buddy teams will result in the mounting sequence. The buddy team of the driver and gunner are the first ones to mount up into the Vic. The rifleman and grenadier are the first ones in the Vic, getting their positions. The next, the vehicle commander will be the second person. I'm sorry, will be the second set on the vehicle. The automatic rifleman would be the third/last person in the Vic. So I'll say it again. The buddy team of driver and gunner, first one's on. First set, vehicle commander, second set. And the automatic rifleman is the last set. Now, everyone knows the reason why the automatic rifleman's the last one in the Vic.
That means that he, as a force multiplier, stays out and in the fight longer.
Definitely. Able to launch more rounds than we can. He can carry more rounds than we can. I'm sorry, well, not carry. But his right weapon system can load in more rounds or magazines than we can. Or actually rounds, not magazines. Which is the reason why he's the last one in the Vic. Now, give you guys real quick about vehicle security. Automatic rifleman will always be the first one out of the Vic and the last one in the Vic. Once again, force multiplier. Now, when dismounted, everyone's number one task is to secure the vehicle. That means to give the vehicle the maximum level of security. Whenever you are dismounting, the vehicle has to be in a good position. So either taking fire down a road and we're doing the soft dismount in the herringbone, make sure vehicle's behind cover, such as in defilade, behind a tree or whatever, stuff like that. You gotta consider. If we're in the road, your vehicle is not in an intersection if we dismount it, because then the vehicle gunner has to watch 3 sectors instead of just 1 or 2. Those are things you gotta consider whenever you're dismounted. You gotta make sure that the vehicle is, when you consider security, make sure the vehicle is secured. Now, basically, I'm going over just the stuff that the team that's inside the Vic, like I told you guys before, the team that's assigned to the Vic, this is what they're in charge of doing, okay? Alright, here's your dismounting basics. Once you dismount the vehicle, here's things you gotta consider. Make sure you stay at least 8 meters off the vehicle to avoid explosions on, around, or anywhere near the vehicle. If you want to figure out what 8 meters are, or is, look at the demonstrators right now. They're showing how far off you should be away from the vehicle. Now, at all times, now I say this again, at all times, never cross the road. There's always significant things that may happen. We went in a herringbone probably because we're taking fire down the road. Move across the road, get yourself shot. Also, you move across the road in time for us to mount up and start moving, you're slowing down the whole convoy's movement. So you gotta wait for you to move back towards the vehicle. And lastly, we may have dismounted to allow friendly vehicles to go across the road to reposition, slowing down the convoy movement once again. You're slowing down their movement once again. Maybe enemy vehicle moving across the road or civilian vehicle moving across the road. Then if they see you on the road and they get close to you, you might have an IED on the vehicle and they'll blow it up, getting yourself down. Now we gotta medically treat you, holding up the whole movement of the convoy. So that's why you never want to move across the road. Those are one of the very many reasons, or the few very many reasons why you should never cross the road. Alright, move on towards your dismounting terms. First one is soft dismount. People dismount out of the vehicle, and this, like I said, this is just for the people who are in charge of the Vic, or assigned to the vehicle. This is the team. The one's soft dismount is the buddy team of the AR and fire team leader. And that is what vehicle positions?
Say again, Sergeant. I had something in my ears.
The AR and fire team leader are the first ones off the Vic. I mean, are the only ones who dismount the Vic whenever it's a soft dismount. And who is that?
They are in fire team
commander
leader
and a passenger.
Yep, vehicle commander and passenger. Awesome. You will always do this if the vehicle stops for more than a few minutes or transitioning to maneuver. If we're ever in a herringbone or an RP or whatsoever it may be, you'll be in a soft dismount. If we're going to transition to maneuver and moving with the VIX, you'll be in a soft dismount. Now, next is hard, or also known as combat dismount. The AR, fire team and rifleman dismount. And who is that?
That will be the driver and the passenger.
And then one more. Driver, passenger, and who else?
I didn't catch the last.
AR, fire team and rifleman. Automatic rifleman will always dismount the vehicle because he's a force multiplier.
Correct.
We got two weapon systems that can launch multiple rounds.
Oh, the grenadier.
No. The grenadier's a gunner. We keep him in the Vic because he's able to yeah, the vehicle. So I'll say this again. The vehicle commander always dismount the vehicle. So the vehicle commander dismounts, the vehicle passenger dismounts, and the driver dismounts. The fire team leader and the vehicle passenger always dismounts. I'm sorry, vehicle passenger, vehicle commander always dismounts because these two main reasons. First off, they do nothing in the vehicle. So what's person be in the vehicle? You're not able to do anything, so they're gonna dismount the vehicle first of all, and then secondly, that AR is a force multiplier, so he's always gonna dismount the vehicle because he can provide the most maximum firepower to the rest of the element. And then in addition, the grenadier always stays in the vehicle whenever we're doing these level dismounts. Well, these first two level dismounts, because once again, he's also a force multiplier. He has a higher caliber, and he can launch multiple rounds quicker than we can. And plus, his rifle weapon system is recoilless. So any questions with that?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, so I'll say this again. In a soft dismount, you have your fire team and AR dismounts. That's the vehicle commander, vehicle passenger. Hard combat dismount, you have your AR, fire team leader, and your rifleman dismount. That's your vehicle commander, vehicle passenger, and your driver. And this happens. This is basically we do a hard combat dismount to basically provide Overwatch as a crew served weapon, or when the vehicle is set to provide Overwatch as a crew served weapon. So the vehicle is in a good position where you can stay there forever. Like say if it's in a defilade where the whole vehicle is covered, however the gunner is able to provide the maximum security to the rest of the squad, then there'll be a hard dismount or a combat dismount. Where the gunner stays in the vehicle, the driver could dismount, the fire team could dismount, and the grenadier could dismount. And from that point, long as the driver stays near the Vic, the fire team grenadier could be, fire team leader and AR could be somewhere near the Vic. As long as the driver stays near the Vic, and the grenadier or the gunner provide Overwatch as a crew served weapon, we're all good from that point. Sometimes you do a hard combat dismount, and only in those cases or scenarios. Any questions?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, last dismount is full dismount. Everyone dismounts out of the vehicle. Quite self-explanatory. Now, what I want to do is full dismount if the vehicle is no longer operational, no longer be used. If we're at a friendly base, we can leave the vehicle in there and do a full dismount. But those are the only cases. You never want to leave the vehicle unsecure in the combat zone. Now, one time when I say you do a full dismount is if the vehicle is the wheels damaged and that gun the gun has no longer normal ammo. Those two scenarios have to match up together in order for you to leave that vehicle. If the gun is empty, you can still use that vehicle as a transport vehicle. We can still use it. If the tires are exploded, if one tire is damaged, we can replace that tire. If about 3 tires is damaged, we can still drive that vehicle. I can show you multiple videos of where helmet cam videos of where we actually still use vehicles that were heavily damaged, got no tires left. We still drove that thing from towards the AO and out of the AO. So we use these vehicles as if it's our baby. We keep them with us unless it's no longer operational. Any questions with that?
Negative, Sergeant.
All right. Just stress enough to tell you guys that this vehicle is very, very valuable to us, and it's very valuable to you because it saves us the trip. We don't worry about being fatigued by running forever. So that's why we use these vehicles very dearly. All right. Next section is introduction to basic convoy procedures. First things first, you need to know what a convoy net is. Convoy net is 50. Write that down. 50. Everyone got that down? Yes, Sergeant. No, Sergeant?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Next things next is now you got to transmit over that convoy net. The only way transmit over convoy net is using long range radio. That's what we mainly use. All people who can access long range radio is the driver, the gunner, and the vehicle commander seat in the Vic. The vehicle commander seat in the vehicle, not the vehicle commander, which is fire team leader, but the vehicle commander seat in the vehicle. Those are only 3 spots that can access the long range radio. Now, to open the long range radio, you're going to press the Alt Papa key that opens up the long range radio. And then you just clear frequency the same way you do. You press that CLR button, and then you can type in 50. Then you're going to press the button that says FREQ. And that will set your frequency. FREQ is another word of saying enter. However, it's a little different on the long range radio. Frequency will set your frequency. On your short range radio, the ENT button will set your frequency. Any questions with that?
Negative, Sergeant.
Sometimes they want you to put your long range radio on speakers for everyone else in the vehicle to hear it. However, if you're the person that's in charge of talking over the long range radio, which means calling out routine call-ins, which I'll go over that in a few seconds here. If you're the person that's transmitting, if you're the person that's in charge of that, you should not be putting it on speaker because you won't be able to hear it. Now, let you guys know that we're at 1 minute overtime. You guys able to stay on so I can complete this convoy procedure? It's only take about 10 more minutes. Y'all good with that?
Affirm, Sergeant.
Drake, Tordanov?
I'm good with it.
Affirmative, Sergeant.
Alright. So, they were put on speakers, but if you're the person that's not in charge of the speaking over the radio, then you can put on speakers. But like I said, you'll be able to hear it unless you're in actually in first person, actually inside the vehicle in first person, then you could hear it a little bit. Everyone stands on that point.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, now we got vehicle call signs. Each vehicle has their own call sign. First Vic is first Vic whenever doing these call-ins. Second Vic, third Vic, and it goes on so forth until you're the last vehicle in the convoy, then your call sign is last Vic. Now, whenever we're doing our radio checks, if you're the first Vic, of course, you call yourself first Vic. But however, the only thing different about this, if you're the last Vic, you're calling yourself your vehicle number. So there's 6 vehicles in the convoy, and you're the last Vic, you're gonna call yourself, this is vehicle 6. 6. We're gonna check on this frequency or whatever. Okay, everyone says on that? You say 6 Vic, Vic 6, doesn't matter. Long as you say your vehicle number, not your vehicle call sign. Whenever you're doing your radio check. But whenever you're doing a routine call, sorry about this. Whenever you're doing anything outside of a radio check, you call yourself based off your call sign, which is either first Vic, front Vic, or last Vic. Everyone understands on that?
Affirm, Sergeant.
So first Vic has either first Vic, front Vic, lead Vic. They use either of the 3. It doesn't matter on that. Everyone knows which all those things means that's the first Vic in the convoy. But a last Vic has last Vic or rear Vic, but we always use last Vic. Alright, now we move on from there. Alright, radio checks. Radio checks the same way you do it on your short range radio. Any call station on this net, this is first Vic, radio check or frequency 50 over. Any station on this net, this is a vehicle 6 or 6 Vic, radio check or frequency 50. Now, if your convoy commander is on the radio frequency, then you'll say convoy commander, this is first Vic, radio check on frequency 50 over. Vehicle first Vic or vehicle 1, this is convoy commander, read you loud and clear on frequency 50, and then end it from there. You know how to end it. All right. That's how you do your radio check. Same way you do it within your short range radio. So it shouldn't be really that much of a confusion. To move on from that part there. Next is Convoy Commander. Convoy Commander is usually the person in charge of the convoy. Self-explanatory. Now, usually Convoy Commander usually would be either the Platoon HQ, Task Force Commander. Usually those two guys would be the Convoy Commander. But like I said, it really doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's somebody who's in charge of the convoy. Any questions with that?
Negative, Sergeant.
Okay. Now, each vehicle has its own sectors of fire. And what I mean by that is that each vehicle's gunner should be facing at a certain position. Let me go ahead and show you what that specifically means. Now, if you were the first Vic, you should always be looking towards your direct front. Now, if you're the rear Vic, obviously you should always be looking towards your direct rear. Is anyone confused on that portion?
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright. Now, second vehicle should be looking either to the left or to the right. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So, second vehicle should always looking to the left or the right. Now, the third vehicle will watch through the opposite sector of what the vehicle in front of him has watched. And the vehicle behind him will do the same thing. Everyone gets what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, they're basically zigzag.
Yep, zigzag.
Yep.
They'd just be the opposite. So if I was first Vic, so if I was second Vic, I'm watching left. Where should third Vic be watching?
Right.
Right.
Where should the fifth Vic be watching?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, basically. There you go.